Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media. And you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead, hit that like button, because you already know what time it is. And you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone, but do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we are here with another great episode. Girl math. Who is supposed to solve it? Okay. Yes, y'all, girl math. Who is supposed to solve it? Girl math is a crazy concept, a crazy thing, but I see it applied in so many different ways. So we're going to talk a little bit about this girl math and who is supposed to solve it. But before we get into this too heavy, we want to take a moment out to give a little bit of gratitude. First of all, shout out to everybody who gives me consistent views. I appreciate you big time. Shout out to the people who give me consistent views. I appreciate you. I mean, I'm happy for everybody when you're new, but of course we want you to become new and consistent. Okay. So shout out to all y'all. Shout out to everyone who hits that like button. Y'all know the like button is an important thing to the algorithm. So, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you hook me up. If those who hate me up, make sure you do that as well. Also, something else important to the algorithm. Make sure you do that. Shout out to everybody who gives comments after the streams. Those are also important to the algorithm. So I appreciate everyone who does that. And I got to say, shout out to the people who go above and beyond the call of duty, the people who are actually financial contributors to the stream. And I appreciate y'all so much. And today we are going to honor, a brother by the name of Arnold Pelton. He is the sponsor of today's stream. Shout out to Arnold Pelton. He is the sponsor of today's stream. Appreciate you big time, my brother. Appreciate you big time. Can't say enough good things about the people who become financial contributors. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. All right, y'all. We're going to get into a little bit of this girl math. Now, as y'all may have seen, there are 3 links in the description. And y'all, there won't be links every day. But if you come into the Roger Report Live, you want to check the description before you even get into the show to see if there's some links so you'll know what we're referring to. Links are usually in the description. Okay, I'm going to try to make it a habit of saying that so people will know what time it is. All right, now let's get into this. First of all, y'all, I put a link back up because I put it in the show, but I didn't make mention of it. And I'm going to make sure I start making mention of all these great things that Black men do on a regular basis. So the first link, shout out to Shaquille O'Neal. Okay, shout out to Shaquille O'Neal. What kind of man is Shaq? Well, people he knew. Old college coach asked for a favor. Okay. He said, man, Shaquille, I know you in a serious time right now. Playoff time. I need you. If you could do me a favor and just simply call this boy. We got a boy who's literally dying. Okay. He's literally dying. And the family just want to make sure that Shaquille is one of the last people the little boy talks to before he passes. But as I've said time and time again, and I'm going to keep on saying until it's not true, Black men are the greatest men this country has to offer. A request like that, what does Shaq do? Shaq don't just call the boy. He goes to visit the boy. Okay? And he stays with the boy until he had to go play a game. Shaq is taking time out to deal with a boy, but he's also handling his responsibilities. Shout out to Shaquille O'Neal for being a great example of what every American should be. Okay, shout out to Shaquille O'Neal for trying to be a great example of what every American should be. Does Shaq get it right all the time? Of course not. He's human, but he definitely got it right in this case. So shout out to Shaq. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. All right. Now, y'all, let's get into a little girl math. Okay. Now, I put 2 very interesting links in there to show 2 sides of something at least. Okay. I think you should be able to see at least 2 sides of something. I think there's more sides than just 2, but at least 2 sides to something. Okay. We got some girl math. We got a Black woman who chose to become a single mother to 3 children. Okay. They never mentioned she was a widow. I'll just say that. And I don't think, based on the numbers, not girl math, I'm going to use regular math. Okay. I think based on the numbers, more than likely she chose to become a single mother. Then she was forced into a single mother scenario. Okay. Because, a woman can be forced into a single mother scenario. Those are called widows. Okay. You can be a widow and you can be young, and then you could have some underage children. So, yes, you can be a single mother in a widow situation. I'm going to use regular math to say the chances of her being a widow is next to none. Now, why do I say that? Because she's a Black woman with 3 kids. That's why I said that. It's not even more technical than that, y'all. She's a Black woman with 3 children. The chance of her being a widow ain't that high. It's that simple at the end of the day. Because widows are people left behind. Well, women left behind when a man dies. But what's the chance of a Black woman in America being married? Just ain't that good. Okay, just ain't that good. So more than likely she is not a widow. That's regular math. Okay, not gonna use girl math for that. But we can get into this girl math situation. Now, according to the story, the woman was working for Burger King. Shout out to Burger King. Okay, shout out to Burger King. And I think they tried to imply something negative toward Burger King. I don't know, how do you imply something negative toward Burger King? Because they say the woman worked 12 hours at Burger King. Now, it also says she had another job. Now, how do you work something like that out? It is possible. I doubt it's real. It's possible, though. Because, truth be told, if you really want to get at it, you can work 2 12-hour jobs. You get one job that, you work 12 hours, you work 3 days a week. And then you can try to find another job where you work 12-hour shifts. You know, I'm talking about working 12-hour shifts. Okay. And if you work 12-hour shifts at 2 locations, 36 hours a week at one, go work 36 hours a week at the other, you could actually have 2 jobs. And now I don't know how you're going to raise your kids with that. I'm just saying, you know, things like that can be done. Okay. Things like that can be done. Okay. Could you get that at a fast food joint and somewhere else? Maybe. Possibly. Can you get it at 2 possible fast food joints? Maybe. Now I'm gonna say, accepting that this is a true story. Okay. Cool. She worked 12 hours and big whoop. Now, people might say, Raj, what you mean big whoop? I'm a black man. Y'all think I ain't worked 12 hours? You know what I'm saying? What's working 12 hours to a black man? Am I supposed to be excited about that? Let's be realistic. I am a black man. Okay. Y'all think I ain't worked no 12-hour shifts before? Hey man, that comes with the territory of life, y'all. Okay. Come with the territory sometimes. Shout out to any black man that hasn't worked a 12-hour shift. But if I had to bet my own money on it, I'm gonna bet it's been a lot more. I'm gonna bet that black men have worked 12-hour shifts more than I'm gonna say black men who have not worked 12-hour shifts. Not black in America. Now, shout out to all my people listening around the world. You know, I know things are a little different where y'all are. Some places very similar, but I'm gonna bet money the average working black man has worked at least 12 hours at least once. I'm pretty sure it's way more than once, but at least once. If you're a working black man, you done did a 12-hour shift. I'm pretty sure you have. And let's just keep it real. Okay. So saying that she worked 12-hour shifts was, I get what the video was trying to do, but that's not going to impress somebody like me who, been there, done that. Okay. Technically could do it again, you sometimes if you actually pay attention to how much you work, and especially if you're working for yourself as well, you're going to pull in 12 hours, more than 12-hour shifts. So, she worked 12-hour shifts. Okay, and she got 3 kids. Should she work 12-hour shifts? Probably. That's what I'm gonna say. Probably. Shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. He making it a little extra. So I wasn't gonna even put the sauce on it. I wasn't gonna even put the sauce on it. But since Inspired Truth Broadcast is in the chat, he say 15 hours. Exactly, bro. Exactly. I work 16-hour shifts regularly. So now I'm not trying to belittle the 12 hours. I'm not trying to belittle the 12 hours, but telling that to some black men, come on now. It's cool. It's cool. And there's a lot of black men who appreciate the opportunity to work at a location and get some 12-hour shifts in. It is cool. I'm not tripping and I'm not putting down anybody working the 12-hour shift, but you ain't about to impress us with no 12-hour shift. Shout out to Shaka Nulu. He say 16 is cute. And you know what, brother? I feel you. I do feel you, y'all. Longest shift I've ever worked was 32 hours. Okay. I only did it once. Longest shift I ever worked was 32 hours. Okay. Now I have worked multiple 24-hour shifts. Okay. I worked multiple 24-hour shifts. Longest I've ever worked was 32 hours. Okay. So, 12 is cool. I'm not tripping. We're not going to belittle the lady for working 12 hours. If you got 3 kids, you probably should be working 12 hours if you ain't cutting the mustard. Because let's keep it real, y'all. I'm not going to belittle nobody working at fast food. I've worked fast food twice myself. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. All right? You work your 12 hours. Now, she got 3 kids. So I'm going to suggest that she had at least 3 opportunities to become somebody's wife. Whether those children are from the same men or different men. Black men usually hang on to women, especially if they have kids by. Okay. I understand propaganda says something different, but we gonna get real. Black men don't too much leave anybody. And one person he really not gonna leave without some sort of a fight is the woman who had his child. So maybe it's 3 guys, maybe it's just 1 guy, but that's 3 different opportunities. Okay. That's 3 different opportunities. Maybe that's her fault. Now, Burger King, according to the story, if it's true, had her working there alone. She doing everything on her own. Okay, cool. I mean, it is what it is, man. If I go to work, I'm being realistic now. I go to work. I happen to work for Burger King. Ain't nobody there. What I'm supposed to do? Everything. Because I need to get my money. That's why I came to work. I don't go to work to not get paid. I go to work specifically to get paid. Now, if I've been working there for a while and I already know how to do everything and ain't nobody there, am I supposed to cry about somebody who didn't come to work? Or am I supposed to just get my job done? No, I'm going to get my job done because I need my check. I ain't worried about everybody else's check. I need my check. So I'm going to go ahead, clock on in, and do what I got to do. Now, would anybody care that I'm the only one there? Well, I'm a dude, so probably a lot of folks probably won't care that much. As long as I can get the stuff out in a timely fashion where they ain't tripping, I don't think they're going to care at the end of the day. I just don't think they're going to care. It is what it is. I am not tripping. You know, I'm going to say shout out to her for doing what she should do in that scenario, but she shouldn't be in that scenario. Okay? Oh, dang it. My bad. Shout out to my main man, Trail Bentley, y'all. I skipped right past. I got a little too excited, I guess, about getting to the story. My apologies, y'all. I got to recognize my main man, Trail Bentley, first one in the chat. And if y'all know what's good, you know what's happening around here. He is what we like to call the Highlander of today's stream. So shout out to my man, Trail Bentley, representing as he always does. Hashtag long live habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hell Hydra. And shout out to that young lady for having at least three of Al Gore's babies. Shout out to that young lady. Shout out to my main man, Floyd Thompson, coming in second. Appreciate you big time. Yay. Glad to have you in the building, my brother. Glad to have you in the building. Good to see you. We got, of course, my main man, Chef Mike, is in the building. He gonna keep us in a little bit on in case we get a little too out of pocket. You know, he does that. You know, I don't be quick enough on it sometimes. So Chef Mike can come in and do what I didn't do. So shout out to Chef Mike and the pit crew. Y'all keep in mind, J-Dub or Mr. Shiggs, you can do the same thing Chef doing. So I got people that got my back over here, y'all. I got people that got my back, and I appreciate it. Shout out to Patrick Saint. Glad to see you in the house. All my hoes demonetized. Just pulled up a seat at the cool table. Great to see you, my brother. Great to see you. Say one more day until vacation. Hey, brother, enjoy it. Glad to hear that. Shout out to Boot Camp. What's going on, my brother? What's going on? Grab second. Get Eddie is in the building. Great to have you. We got the Great Black Reset in the house. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Shaka Nulu is in the building. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. We got Joe's in the house. Great to have you. We got the nameless protagonist in the building. Good to have you, brother. Ken Seeing Red is in the house. What's going on? Afro Merchant, what's good, my brother? Glad to see you. We got Inspired Truth Broadcast in the building. Okay, now I don't know what this would be. I guess this would be Recklin Nove. Y'all, and I don't know every single picture to match up with every name. I know some of the fews because I've read off certain names, you know, so consistently who have been here first. So if you want the name that you want named, you got to put it in there so I can do it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Cole Fred. Glad to have you. We got Luke man is in the building. Good to see you. Ken Seeing Red, I know that's you, my brother. I know that's you. Good to have you in the building. Terenzo Jones is here. What's happening, my brother? What's happening? Glad to see y'all here. We gonna get back into it, y'all. So we got the single mother. Okay. And y'all, we don't know who the daddy is, so we just gonna say Al Gore's babies have struck again. All right. She's doing a 12-hour shift at Burger the King. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Get your money. See, when you refuse to marry the man that you have children by, you got to do some compensation. I don't see the problem with that. So, yeah, there were people who saw this as some woman struggling, some woman going through something that she shouldn't have to go through. She started up a GoFundMe because they encouraged her to do that. And she may have inspired some other women because other women saw a story of this single mother trying to do her thing, and then everybody gives her this GoFundMe. She raises over $100,000. Now that's enough to buy her a house. And they say she gonna start, her cleaning service, and maybe she did. I don't see the problem with that. You live in America, don't you? You live in America, don't you? All right, what should be happening to adults? Okay. Once you leave high school and you're past your 18th birthday, you either go to college or some trade school to, extend your education. You can go to the military. Military gives great benefits, sets you up in a good position in life. Okay. You can go get some other job, even at Burger King. Shout out to Burger King. Or you can start a business. These opportunities are available for all the men who are American citizens. Now, this is the thing. These opportunities are also available for women who are American citizens. And women can also simply get married and don't have to worry about working outside the home. They could do that too. Now, as men, I'm not going to recommend you look for a husband to do that. Because number one, if you ain't LGBTQ, it's probably going to be extremely uncomfortable. Number two, society ain't set up to just take care of able-bodied grown men. We ain't trying to do all that. It just is what it is, okay? It just is what it is. But see, when you're a woman, that's not your case. When you got 3 babies, you had at least 3 opportunities to become somebody's wife. Now, people could say, well, they could be by the same father. Don't make no difference. You got 3 babies by the man. You got at least 3 opportunities to become a wife. Now, why she squandered those opportunities, I have no idea. Is she going to make it because she got $100,000? Not necessarily, because, yeah, you can buy a home possibly with that $100,000. Maybe you buy a decent home in a decent place. I don't know. Depends on her living situation. Maybe that works for her. Maybe it doesn't. Depends on how she wants to spend the money. Is she going to use the whole $100,000 on the house, or is she going to buy a house for a little cheaper? And she said she's going to start a cleaning service. Who knows how it's going to go for her? But what I'm not going to do is feel sad for her, because she is an American. Okay, when you in America, you got great opportunities, and a lot of us, we need to accept that we have some great opportunities here. Is it unfair here in America for Black men? Yes, it is. But there's still are opportunities that exist, and a lot of Black men, we overcome these situations so we can do pretty decent in life. So if she refuses to get married, why shouldn't she have to compete from a American standpoint like any other American? Because see, equality is supposed to be at work and in the court system. So if she refuses to get married, which I'm going to say, to me, it looks like she has refused to get married at least on 3 occasions. She refused to be good enough for someone to marry her, because she had an opportunity if she out here having babies. Now, why would I feel sympathy for a woman who had opportunities to be married and she just simply chose not to be? Why would I feel sorry for her? Okay. Yeah, I hit the 12-hour shift. Yeah, I work 12 hours too. And nobody just sent me $100,000 though. Okay. I don't work 12 hours plenty of times. It is what it is. That's called being an American. Okay. So I don't feel no sympathy. I don't see the math problem as other people saw it, because there are people who gave her money like she can't solve that math problem. I believe she can, because she lives in America. She's a Black woman. Why can't she solve it? Now, we have another woman who was talking, what was that, to a bank president, I think it was. She was talking to him about a woman. Now, we don't know for sure if it was a Black woman. We just know the woman's name was Patricia. That's all we know. Okay. It could have been a Black woman. Could be a non-Black woman too. There are other women following behind the stupidity of Black women. Let's keep that real. We're not going to act like nobody else does it. So it could be a Black woman, could not be. We know in this particular case, and we know this happens for other people, there's some woman named Patricia amongst others who got a job at the bank. Shout out to you, the Great Black Reset. Yes, the J.P. Morgan president. Okay. And she said, let me hit this dude with a math equation that he couldn't solve. And you know what? I don't know why he couldn't solve it, but I'm not going to lie. I understand that sometimes you're going to find white men who are underqualified to do their job. I'm not saying that's his case. I'm just saying what he showed in his clip, that he's a little underqualified. That's what they showed in the clip. Now, keep in mind, y'all, maybe he came back with a great retort, but maybe they cut that off from the clip. You never know how he played it. Okay. But if he couldn't really answer the question, I accept that because he's a white man, and I accept that white men will be in positions that they're not qualified for. Okay. Because I don't think the question was that hard. Okay. I don't think the question was that hard. But we had, according to the story, some woman named Patricia worked for the bank. She got she got $16.50 an hour. Made a little over $35K a year. I think she said she took home it was around 29 something a year. Started drawing out all these expenses. And each month she would be in the red. Okay. About $577 in the red every single month. That's a lot of money to be in the red every single month. That's a whole lot of money to be in the red every single month. I mean, 1 month is one thing. 3 months is something to look at. 6 months can be a task. But every single month, boy, that's something to deal with. That is something to deal with. Okay. She has a kid, though. She's a single mother. So the woman say, can you solve this equation? This is what a scenario is. She work at your bank. Can you solve the equation? Now, I understand sometimes people are scared to say some things. Sometimes they don't know what to do. So I don't know if he got scared. I don't know if he's underqualified. I don't know what it is. Okay. I'm not gonna put it on. I'm just saying I've noticed white men in positions that, and sometimes they just ain't qualified for it. Now, a lot of things are about who is being asked the question. Okay. So the white woman say, she got a budget problem. You talking to a bank president, you would think a bank president could, quote unquote, solve a budget problem. I'm not going to say she even looked in the wrong place. A bank president should be able to solve a budget problem. Okay, we talking about money on money on money. You the bank president. This money on money on money. Now, I know how to solve her problem. I'm not a bank president, but I know how to solve a problem. Okay. To me, it was a very easy problem for her to solve. Okay, so this woman named Patricia, and she just advertised for a bunch of other women because there's a bunch of other women in the exact same position. You know what I think Patricia should do? Something I've been saying for years now. Patricia should go get married to the man she had a child with. Okay? Because according to what you telling me, Patricia out here struggling. Okay? Patricia's struggling. Okay? $577 every single month in the red ain't easy. Okay? That's not an easy task. Okay? Again, 1 month, that's something. 3 months, that starts to turn into a problem. 6 months, that's a real issue. But every month, come on now. Come on. That's a tough situation to be in. And I'm sure there's other people who've been in that situation. And what did we look to do? We figured out how do we get out of the red? Okay. That's one of the first things. If you use regular math, not girl math, but if you use regular math, if you in that situation where you're 577 in the hole every month, you probably gonna, as a man, you're probably gonna try to look, how do I get out the red? Okay. I gotta stop the bleeding some kind of way. I gotta stop the bleeding. All right. Now, maybe Patricia needed a second job. And some people may say, well, Patricia got a child, so how can she have a second job and still be able to raise her kid? Why is that my problem to solve? Isn't that something Patricia should think about? Heck, isn't that something Patricia should think about before she decides to be a single mother? Because they didn't mention that Patricia was a widow either. Okay, they didn't mention that. Okay, now why would I assume that Patricia is a widow? I have no reason to make that assumption. Because I'm pretty sure when you go to a place and you looking to present a sob story, you're gonna make the sob story as sad as you can to pull tears out of folks. So if Patricia was a widow, I'm pretty sure she would have mentioned that Patricia was a widow. So the fact that Patricia was not mentioned as a widow, I have good reason to believe that she is not. But she did present a problem that bank president, for whatever reason, didn't give the answer for. And I would have just simply gave an answer. Patricia does not have to be a single mother. That is an elective position in America. Let's keep that real. That's an elective position in America. No woman has to be a single mother. She can not have a child in the first place. And if she decides to have a child, she can get that child away for adoption. Or heck, she could actually give the child to the father and let the father just raise the child. There's something too. I guess that technically would still leave her as a single mother, but there's a crazy idea. She can actually just give the child to the father and let him raise the children. I know it sounds crazy, but it just might work. At least according to data, it just might work. So, girl math presents quite the equation sometimes. It does. It presents quite the equation sometimes. Do I personally believe that these are unsolvable equations? No, I don't think they're unsolvable. I know people present them as if they're unsolvable, but these are not unsolvable equations. All you got to do is not be, is not have your head up your behind. I'll say that. That's all you got to do. Okay? All you got to do is be a reasonable person and you can get past girl math. You know what? You have a man, okay? You get pregnant, get a baby to the dad. And I understand there will be women who will say, well, Roger, it ain't that easy. How it's not? How it's not? Okay, now I'm gonna keep it real. If you're not a black person, I don't know how difficult it truly will be. I have an idea because I know black men will actually leave children out there bogus like that. I know that's what they've been doing since God knows when. Okay, but if you're talking about black America, what black man ain't gonna take his kid? See, you're gonna have a hard time finding a black man that won't take his kid, and that's just the reality of it. You're gonna have an extremely hard time finding a black man who won't take his kid. Now, people act like just because there's black women out there who refuse to be with the man they got pregnant by, that black men will leave. No, black men won't even leave the woman that had the child in the first place. Black men are problematic when it comes to leaving a woman. We don't leave when we should leave a woman. So to pretend that black men will leave a child is a ridiculous concept. It's just plain ridiculous. And somebody got to call it out. And I guess it's gonna have to be me. So I'm gonna do what I got to do, y'all. I'm gonna do what I got to do. I'm gonna call out. Anytime somebody try to tell me a black man left a child, first of all, are you insane? Are you a sane person? Let's start there. Are you a sane person? Because what is your evidence that a black man left any child? Okay. And I know people say, well, black men abandon these kids. Black men won't even leave a woman. We can't get black men to leave women they ain't got no business being with. So how he gonna abandon the child? If you ain't gonna say no to the woman, how you say no to the child? That's a crazy concept. Now, the thing is, y'all, who is supposed to solve these math problems? I mean, the bank president failed. I get that. It don't look good when the bank president couldn't solve that small budget issue of $577 a month. I could have solved it. I said, go back, which I've been saying for a good long while. Go to the man you had your kid with and marry him. That's it. Go to him and say, look, I know I've been stupid. I know I've been a failure. But if you will take me, I will become the woman that you need me to be so you will feel comfortable being married to me. I'm going to humble myself because I need you to take care of me. And a lot of folks think that's bad. And my thing is, if you ain't raising your child properly, is it really that bad? Well, I mean, look what you got to compare it to. We talking about a woman who going 577 in the hole every single month. We got another woman who got 3 kids, no husband. I mean, they raised her over $100,000. That's a one-time deal. You're going to have to do more than just a one-time deal. Life ain't changing because somebody gave you $100,000. I mean, life can change. There's a lot of work that would have to go into play, but your life just don't change like totally and automatically because somebody give you $100,000. I'm not telling anybody not to give me $100,000, but let's not act like I ain't got to still make something happen after you give me $100,000. That's not no retirement money. You know what I'm saying? That ain't enough money to retire. It just ain't. It is what it is. But I got my first guest, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him get the mic. He said he coming in hot. Let's see how true that's gonna be. Shout out to the Great Black Reset. You got the flow, my brother. You have the flow.
Man, good morning, Rogers. It's a terrific Thursday. Man, on these 3 videos, I want to say shout out to Shaq, first of all, for going to visit that young man who had the brain tumor. That was definitely magnanimous on his behalf. He didn't have to do that, but that's what Lakers do. You know, you'll never catch Michael Jordan doing anything like that. So, you know, that's what us the great Lakers do. You know, I understand. Um, However, as far as these women are concerned, women have a really simple math problem. All they gotta do is add plus one, plus one, one husband, and it's over. All these issues, problems, and concerns are over. It may be a minus one. Some of them got to get rid of their pride. They get rid of their pride and add a husband. And here's the thing, Roger, even your life is evidence of this. You did not give up on black women. That's why you not married today. That's proof that niggas will stay in the fight too long with these women. We ain't leaving these women, man. It's impossible. These women, all they got to do, even after they have children, is get rid of their pride and tell a man, I know I messed up. I know I screwed my life up, but if you help me get it back together, I promise you, I'll be the best wife you will ever have. And 99% of these niggas will cave. That's all they got to do. They got too much pride, bro. I don't feel sorry for none of them. So what? She worked by herself. Big deal. So what? She worked 12 hours. You should have to work 8 hours a day for every child you got. That's my math on that. If you don't want any black woman, I'm gonna land with this. Any black woman out there with children that did not submit to a man and get married, you wanted to work hard. That was you choosing to work hard when you didn't have to. I ain't got no sympathy for you. And I'm gonna land my plane right there.
I mean, shout out to you, brother. You did come in hot. You definitely came in hot. And I just want to say, you know, shout out to the Novant Health Michael Jordan Family Medical Clinics.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. Nice. Nice.
Shout out to all the people who work there. Shout out to all the jobs that, you know, being built. Shout out to the folks who are able to take care of some things when they're a little low when it comes to being able to take care of medical costs. So
Oh,
the the Michael Jordan Family Medical Clinics can help you out if you happen to be in Charlotte or Wilmington, okay? And those are in North Carolina. Those are in North Carolina. So shout out
oh.
to I mean, I don't know if a
I
Laker
bet
would do something like that, but I know the former Bulls will.
you.
You know. So
like that. I like that. I bet you they recruiting a medical call to promise. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that.
well, I'm just gonna say that's just more options for a woman who crazy enough to be out here without a husband. Like, if you go to Charlotte or Wilmington, it's people trying to help all over the place. I mean, it ain't like it's just in Charlotte or Wilmington. There's people and programs trying to help women all over the place. So my thing is, I think we got a math problem here in America, y'all. I do think we got a math problem, okay? We got a strong math problem. And I think the problem is girl math. Real talk, because why would you think it's a good idea to have 3 kids, no husband? And I'm not taking a dig at Burger King, but if you work at Burger King and you can't necessarily come up with the funds you need to quote unquote make it in life, why would you do that? And my thing is, y'all, see, I'm a man. We gotta look both ways before we cross the street. We gotta deal with harsh realities out here, y'all. As a man, if I'm in fast food, I probably shouldn't have a baby because it's probably gonna hurt me. I understand that as a man. Why I'm looking both ways before I cross that street. Now I don't know how many lanes of traffic she went in without paying attention to have 3 kids and to be working at Burger King. And I'm not saying Burger King is not a fine institution, y'all. I understand this is America. You got to compete. When it comes from a financial standpoint, you got to compete. So either you're competing with your husband is competing for you, or you got to do what would have been your husband's job yourself. And if you elect not to have a husband and you have children, you elected to do the job that your husband would have done. Why would I feel sorry for you for doing it? And I really do believe as men, we got to stop feeling sorry for women who decided they didn't want to be helped by a man. They didn't want to help a man, and they rather compete against men. Because you got to ask yourself, should the women be in the workforce? Because we're not stopping them from being in the workforce. It was a responsibility that they really didn't have. Now I'm gonna say black women that always had to work. When you look at slavery and everything that came behind it, black women have worked. Okay, they saw other women not work. They had black men trying to keep them from working, and people made laws just to make them go to work. So you would think black women would be happy with black men willing to let them go home and stay home, because black men don't too much make their wives work. It's very few black men that'll be out there and say, no, my wife has to work. Truth be told, I ain't never actually met one that said his wife has to work. Every black man I know, if his wife want to go home and stay, he ain't gonna argue nothing about it. That's just what's gonna happen. He gonna say, baby, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out and keep it moving. So they go through a lot of trouble to create these problems that they having for themselves. But I'm gonna slow down right here because I got people jumping on the panel right now. So Black Guru, you got it, my brother. We'll get created in right after you. And now we have looks like closed. What's this? Closed legs don't get fed. Coming up after you created. So Black Guru, you got it, my brother.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Roger. I hope you and the gentleman on the panel are doing well. A famous man once made a profound statement in this environment. He said that, somebody's got to pay for these hoes.
He a brilliant brother too. Brilliant.
Very modest man, but very wise. And what you're presenting here is the dilemma and the problem of female freedom, female liberty in the face of cold, hard, raw economics in a supposedly capitalistic system. It's fallaciously termed capitalistic system. So yeah, the price of their female liberty is a lot of debt, a lot of extra expenses, a lot of debt, a lot of disruption, and increased social economic problems because you're passing the these maladaptive behaviors associated with poverty into future generations of people. I look at the woman, the Burger King woman. She has three children, three young children. Um, they all look the same. They all look better than her, which suggests to me that she was repeatedly making babies with a unproductive pretty boy Pookie. That's just my projection of what happened. Who probably either never really actually committed to her and or is probably in prison. So that's the part of the story. Notes there's no reference at all to those children's fathers, which says to me that he very likely never was really with her, but she liked making pretty babies with him, or he's in prison. So that's another feature of this female independence thing as well, where they can make these atavistic um, mating choices, these rather animalistic mating choices, without any concern at all about the future of those children and even their own future socioeconomic consequences. Now, of course, people, they see America loves the black single mother uh, heroically working alone at Burger King. So they've given her a momentary respite of charity money, which only furthers the probability of creating other women who will make similar sorts of mistakes. So shout out to America. Now, in my opening statement there.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Somebody got to pay for the hoes.
Stay sucker free, man.
Hey, like
What
my
up
boy
with it,
Gold
Roger?
be saying, don't be no sucker
Okay,
out
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Don't
Credit, you
be
got a
no
2 minute
sucker, man.
opening statement. Do be wise with it, my brother. Be wise.
What my man say, it's just easy, man. He said, just stay sucker free. I'm taking that, bro. It just makes too much sense. It's too easy and too player. All right, so I'm coming in, man, and I ain't never rah for nothing. I'm always look at both sides of everything because I'm a solutionist, right? And so when I come in, I can hear the women, and we talk about a woman that work at Burger King or whatever her situation is. She obviously do not have capacity, right? Beyond that, so it's damn near like kicking babies to me. I can't even like that. Wouldn't even be it wouldn't even be within my wheelhouse to even be looking at something like that to even procreate with. And I'm just being real, right? We on a different level. We on a different playing field. Now, if we want to be on the playing field with the YNs, right, then we can play on that field. If we want to be on the playing field with the guys that's just now getting in the game, we can get in that game. But I'm not on that playing field. I'm in the playing field with guys that have trailblazed this playing field, right? That have written out the infrastructure of this playing field that we in right now. And so I can't even really worry about the females that just don't have it. Like for real, what are we even really talking about? We got to focus on. And if they don't have it, what does that say for the men that was around them women? Even the player ass niggas that pulled them. Excuse my American. What was his capacity? What was he putting her on? Because if he was a good one, when she left his whatever it was, she should have still had enough capacity in her mind, right? What a woman tell me, I'd rather cry in a Benz than cry in a cruise. So again, now what type of men, even if he's a cruise type of guy, what did the men teach him that he didn't leave the woman that he was with enough legacy, right, to take care of his kids? Even if he ain't there, he still put her on enough game to say, hey, you need to go in. And to me, That's where probably like a lot of primary issues is, bro. It's like men don't have solutions. We have complaints and criticism, but it's no solution. And the solution is, well, they just can't listen to me. Then that tells me that you tender. You don't really have it, right? And you want to make somebody follow some authority that's just really not there. And I think that's what we need to talk about, real talk. How many men actually have it within them to lead or even have kids? Let's just be real. So I can't talk about the single moms without talking about the men, grown, full, freaking age men that freak these women and left them in a situation.
Okay. All right, we got another guest that came up. So we're gonna have closed legs, don't get fed. We're gonna have you, and then Shark Sims coming in right behind you. Go ahead, closed legs.
All right. I'm not gonna waste your time. Okay? It's time for us productive men to have this mentor. And I'm gonna be real. No Vaseline. Broke bitch don't deserve no dick. Working at the fast food, I ain't messing with it. So, okay? If you don't got it like that, you can't put some on the table. You know what I mean? You can't even put gas in your car, or sorry, you don't even own the car. I can mess with you. You're living with your parents. I can mess with you. You can't even rent a room for yourself to run the internet. I'm messing with you. You need baby diapers. I'm messing with you. I'm gonna stay in the productive lane with productive women. All right? Men who get it like that needs to stop, eating in the mud like that. I know it's easy. You know what I mean? I know Bum Keisha, all she needs these $40 for the light bill. They can just slide her $40 and, you know, slide it in her for $40. But when you do that nonsense, and every once in a while, she might get, might get pregnant for you. Now you're stuck. You're stuck with a bum. Stop being with these bums, man. They're dealing with hoes with 400 point credits. What is this nonsense? Leave them on the lot, man. I'm not, I'm not penis policing by any means, man. But I'm sick of seeing good men having to wrestle in the mud with people, man. I'm sorry, I can't do it, man. Sorry, Roger.
Okay. All right, we got Shark Sim. You got the mic, my brother, and looks like after you, we got Mr. Faulkner coming up here. Okay. We got Truth Teller coming too. Everybody coming. Huh? All right, go ahead, Shark.
Peace, fellas. How y'all doing today?
Doing well, brother.
Um, I kind of disagree with the two fellas before me, but I'm just gonna get my 2 minutes on, and I just want to give it. I'm just gonna give y'all the good, the bad, and the ugly of this whole situation. The good part about this situation is she had the fortitude to bang out in that store all by herself, because she could have literally said, you know what, I'm just gonna leave it open and y'all do whatever y'all want to do. You know what I mean? And it's ironic that she did it, and it's crazy how they did it at the end. Like, so a lot of times it's like what Uru was saying, is like, I think last week, you're gonna work hard for some people who don't even care about you. Now the bad is, you can look at the wig selection that she had in that video, and that will tell you everything about her. You dig it?
This
And the
nigga
ugly
said
and the ugly
wings
is,
selection.
somebody really did that 3 times. You know what I mean? And that's where I could understand with no legs, closed legs don't get fed. Like, it comes to a time where it's like, brothers, wear a condom, or just don't be having sex with females who not worthy of children, or worthy to be having sex of, period. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know her personality, but we could go back to the ugly. Them wig selections was crazy. She had the red, she had the dragon queen, she had the blonde. It just don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna land it on right there and let the rest of the brothers get their cook on, and we'll come back to the other issues later.
Interesting opening statement. That's what I'm gonna say. But Colonel Faulkner, you got it, brother. You got it.
Now, I'm gonna say this: we're gonna stop talking about black men leading the community that was never theirs in the first place. Stop that bullshit. Take it how you leave it. Stop that. It's not your fucking community to lead. If it was asked, first of all, about what's the fucking point of being a leader if a bitch ain't gonna listen? Then on top of that, if they really wanted to be, if they didn't enjoy this unreasonable subterfuge that they living, do you really think they would be overweight? Do you really think they wouldn't have the fucking Rainbow Coalition in their hair? I mean, let's we're treating this bitch who got 3 kids, and for some reason I never seen her, but she sounds like she's about as ugly as the first sin that was ever appointed upon mankind's iniquity. If you want to have 3 kids and you work at Burger King, piss on you. I don't care. Go starve. I'm sorry. I don't feel that goes for some of you motherfuckers who've been married before and got divorced. Piss on you. I hope life gets hard. I hope your hair hurts. I hope every follicle of your hair hurts. I hope you feel pain to the subatomic level in every cellular being of your body because you're an idiot. If you think that, oh, I don't want to do 50-50, this is the girl math you really need to figure out. Bitch don't want to pay 50-50, but she always pays 100. You working at Burger King with 3 kids, no education. I don't feel sorry for you. I believe that you should start your little community of future baby mamas and jailbirds of America. I'm sorry. You can't blame black men. Guess what? That chick is going to have that baby regardless of you or anybody else. You don't control that. You control marriage and relationships. Fuck all that. They're not yours to lead. Let them go back to their baby daddy who cut off their stamps, and you see how independent everybody truly is when they cut that shit off, huh? And I'll stop right there.
All right, truth telling, you got the flow, my brother.
I'ma just say y'all niggas is rough, son. We got niggas doing weave and wig analysis to determine behavioral habits.
Hey, that's some real shit though.
we got
Bad decision before he even
we got
thought of it.
niggas breaking down. You supposed to have molecular pain holes. You did it that bad. Your pain's supposed to be to the molecule. So I'm gonna go lighter. I'm gonna just go lighter, right? One, I'm gonna point out. I don't think the Shaq video should even be in here because what Shaq did and what he was asked to do is not the same thing that these other women are asking for help for, right? That one lady asked for help because her son was sick and almost dying, and all he needed to see was Shaq to feel a little happiness. And Shaq went all in and he did his thing and he left. That's a completely different circumstance. Although the ladies on the other side of the fence would probably say, see what Shaq did? He visited a kid that was dying. Blessings to him. Great. That ain't what y'all hoes is asking niggas to do. Second, I'm gonna have to go in on the Burger King lady because they set that story up real good where she's working in Burger King by herself. She's doing it alone, and they fired her a few weeks later because she was late.
Yep.
Bitch, that's part of the job for you to be on time. Well, I was late because of my kids. Okay. Like that makes the reason for your lateness different than you just drinking and smoking weed being late. I mean, so what? You were late because of your kids. That's called being an adult and being responsible, being at work on time. Your ass should have called the EEOC and said these niggas is abusing you at work because you doing the job of a whole team by yourself. That could have been a lawsuit if she had any sense, but she don't. And last but not least, oh my God, our Congress are horrible people, I have to say. So they give a description of a chick making 30 grand with 1 kid. Why she's making 30 grand for 1 kid, they don't go into. They just act as if 30 grand isn't good enough for this person, even though we don't know if her skills allows her to make more than 30 grand. Maybe she only qualifies for $35,000 a year, and that's it. Why would she get more? Well, she has a shortfall of $577,000. Yeah, because she's alone. That's why she has a shortfall. Why are you asking a bank president to figure out a social problem in somebody's familial relationships? Well, she can't afford to do. If I was a bank president, I'd have said maybe she should get a second job. I'd have been the asshole up there. Maybe she should get a second job. I wouldn't even tell her to go find a man, because guess what, y'all? Dudes are not responsible for pregnancy. A man could ejaculate in a woman and she does not get pregnant. You know who has control over that? Women do. There is no such thing as an accidental pregnancy. If they don't want to have the baby, there won't be a baby. If they do want to have a baby, there will be a baby. So guess who that falls on? The niggas who brought the baby here is who that falls on, not men.
Now, here's why I interject and say, y'all, these are Al Gore's babies. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who the father is. If we don't know who the father is, they belong to Al Gore. It's just, you know, he the stand-in representative of white men. And because we don't know that these black men's baby, and truth be told, when it comes down to it, it's white men who sponsor this stuff. At the end of the day, they sponsor this stuff through the government. So these are Al Gore's babies. Okay. Now, my thing is, men should look at, you know, we should look for solutions. What's the solution? Have the baby with the man you married to. That is the solution. Now, number one, the population of black men who would just have babies by random women, number one, is a small population in itself. Number two, the irresponsible of that small group of men is even less. So now the CDC said, you know, it's maybe they say it might be up to 8% of men of black men who will have children and not be responsible. They said it might be up to 8%. Based on a lot of stuff I see, I'm pretty sure it's 3% or less. If you fall through 97% of men to come up to about maybe 3% of men who won't take care of their kids, Mo Pie would tell you she wanted that. I can't fix that. I'm a person who of solutions as well. I cannot fix a woman who wants to have a baby by a man who doesn't want to be involved in the picture. I can't fix that because I can't control her. That is not my problem to fix. It's that simple at the end of the day. So I'm going to say shout out to Creator because I understand where you were going, and we should be solution-minded as men. The solution is she doesn't matter. That is the solution. And when she take it as the real solution, she'll do better.
Free will, Creator, free will gives you the right to burn in hell by your own volition. I mean, we often talk about, you guys often make these biblical references, nothing I really believe very much in. But my understanding is you have the right to make the choices to destroy your corporal life and even your eternal life. You have a right as a human being to make those choices. And God didn't just say only men had those choices. Women have those choices too.
Amen.
So, I mean, I don't know how you make men responsible for the choices of these women in an environment in which, I mean, there is no law, there is no regulation, there is no court decision that give men as either individuals or as a group dominion over female. There's nothing in this society that give any man any control over the reproductive choices of that woman. And the reason why I just assumed she picked the least responsible guy possible, because it looks to be children by the same guy. The children look very similar, but yet they look different from her. So
and
what that says to me is she picked a pretty guy. She picked a pretty guy, and she liked making pretty babies with the pretty guy, right? Because you make pretty babies with pretty guys. I mean, this is the logic of a lot of black women. I know it sounds embarrassing, but those of us that have been around know this is a feature amongst us. You can go in the black communities, and Pretty Ricky got a whole lot of babies by a whole lot of different women. And everybody know Pretty Ricky is making babies with all these women. This is a feature of the black community. I'm over 60 years old. I have seen this thing been going on since the 70s. So, how do you make us as either individuals or as a group responsible for that?
Okay. I want to say real quick, y'all, real quick. Shout out to y'all boy. I dug through the jail, man. I found it, man. Y'all boy, just so you know, I found you, man. I got you out of jail, brother. I got you. It took 3 weeks to get it done, but I found you, brother. I found you, and I got you out. I'm glad to see you making the comment, so I know you good. So good to see that. Now since I've highlighted his name, he said, "Do leaders look for someone to lead or someone that will follow?" And I think that's a very good question. And I think the answer is leaders look for people who will follow. Because at the end of the day, if you, as a leader, you get the job done regardless. So you either going to do the job by yourself or you're going to do the job with people who are going to follow. But if what you're not going to do is work the job with people who won't do the job, because that doesn't make any level of sense at all. And I want to say shout out to Elder Blood. He dropped $10 in on the Cash App, y'all. He said reparations without sovereign land is a slow death. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you.
Can I respond to
Sure. Go ahead.
All right. So first off, we not responsible for nobody else's decisions. That's just crazy, right? But we do here. So I'm coming from an aspect of somebody got to do something regardless, right? There has to be some type of alternative, and that's always where my mind is. Being here a little longer than everybody else, Huru, right? So we've seen the good, we've seen the not so good, and at this stage, we should have well-refined, at least some well-refined advice, right? For those that we know are going to circulate the same thing that we've seen and gone through. So whatever that is as a man, I'm always going to go back to capacity of a man. What is it that we are of the black men of our community, right? What do we possess? Just without this system that we say we don't need and don't want and all of that. Let's just drop all of that. What is our value? What is our intent? What is our foresight, right? Without saying, hey, these people did this wrong. Can I go back to my book or Bible, not the Bible itself? Can I go back to what we as a people have structured, right? What we call culture. We are the men that do that. If we are not the men who do that, then that's directly saying that either some other man does that for me, right? Or we depending on the women and the children to build in a type of way that you should go. And if she makes the decision not to go in that route, right? Obviously, this is where we are. I'm gonna have to leave you. We're gonna have to be comfortable with looking at, even though our population is what it is, we absolutely have to be comfortable with accepting that we do have a way that we want to live, a way that we want to move, we want to progress, we do have foresight, and this is the way that we move, right? And when you move and we're progressing, and now we'll see institutions growing, we'll see the evidence of what you niggas really want, not what you talking about as a result of working somebody else's plan.
Well, I
I
would
mean, I hear
advise to
what you're
get used to
saying.
what you're
At
seeing.
the end of the day, because you say, what do we have? Look, if you don't follow the program men want you to follow, we supposed to give you nothing. So at the end of the day, I'm fine with the fact that she didn't get anything. Matter of fact, she got
Roger,
2
I'm not
months.
talking about the men who have the right. Those men. I'm talking about men
No.
who
I'm
don't
talking
even
about.
have a plan to
Hold on,
begin with making
bro.
babies.
I'm talking about us. If you went outside the program, you have a child, and you don't have a husband, you are not my concern. Period. That's just what it is, bro. You're not my concern. I don't
I
care
think.
that you suffer
I think
because
we
you
say the
chose.
same thing, just different. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
y'all
with that.
both saying that.
Well,
Absolutely.
I was gonna say that because I think
No,
you saying the same thing. I just think your perspective is you're saying foresight as if they haven't made the decision yet, and we're saying they already made the decision, player. It's time to let it lie. But you seem to be thinking you could make this. See, the first problem is you making men take on the responsibility of somebody else making choices. That's absurd. First off,
No, I
that
want
can't.
no excuse for the men, right? No, zero. So when
No,
they
no, no.
say,
You
hey,
you
hold on,
you.
brother. Listen, I got daughters and we got women around us in our families, and that's my job is to make sure that they cool, regardless to the mistakes that they gonna make in real life,
Oh,
right?
there you
Yeah,
Now,
go.
no,
hold
no,
on, hold on, hold on.
yeah, no, no,
Hold on. You said,
hold on, y'all, because
can I finish my point?
we can't make it adversarial. But
No, it's not. No, it's not
I'm gonna say
adversarial.
you, I'm gonna say you're making a good point. But I'm truly responsible for my wife and my daughters. That's who I'm truly responsible for.
Right. So
Everything else
let's
is
stay
charity.
there then, Roger. Let's stay there. Now, what you teaching, then how you moving, that's what I'm talking about. I can't be responsible for your wife and your daughter and Roger moving a certain way. We've all agreed, progressing, foresight, that we're gonna move deliberately in this direction. Anybody that don't move what you say, she ain't gonna move and she ain't gonna listen, beat it. You know what I'm saying? We are deliberately moving in this direction. We even, like you said, I'm not even focusing on that. So now your daughter, when she gets out here, she's armed with a certain amount of knowledge. Even if she trips over a rock, her daddy set her up with a certain amount of knowledge. So even if she in hell, she knows how to maneuver.
Right, but if
That's
she has an
You don't think these
unruly.
women got that already?
Well, hold on. Before you go there, if she has an unruly mother and there is no father, who is supposed to take responsibility at that point?
So unruly, right? I'm gonna go back to that behavior. I'm gonna always go
Uh
back
huh.
to that. It's like you said, she unruly, and
Yeah,
it's like that don't even mix because that means now you chose an unruly woman to have babies with. Like
that's
this just
true. That's true. But we already clarified that if she's not
well, then
willing
go
to,
back to
if
hold on. Then go
No, no,
meaning now
hold fast, because that's a
her
point that needs
dad
that's a
or
point
her
that needs
mom
to,
or
no,
who
no,
taught
no. That point needs to be dealt with in a serious level, y'all.
yeah,
The CDC, and I'm gonna give them the credit because they estimated it could be up to 8% of black men that are problematic. If a woman skip past 92% of men to be with the 8% that's problematic, I don't see that as an issue we need to concern ourselves with as far
come
as
on.
helping them. You skip past 92% to mess with 8%. Now the issue is 100% of women have that choice to make. That's just the reality of it.
Bam. There it
100% of
is.
See,
women have
this
that
is
choice
part of
to make.
the this is part this is part
Well, go ahead. I was
this
gonna
is
say, go
part of
ahead, Colonel Faulkner.
this is why I disagree with Roger. What Because number one, a leader doesn't look for people to lead. When the student is ready, the master appears.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, real
first of
quick,
all,
y'all.
all you got to
We
do
got to
is
do
just
one at
be
a time.
you.
Real quick, Colonel Faulkner. Just look, everybody. We got to do one at a time. Okay, let's make sure. Let's level out. Colonel Faulkner has the floor. I'm gonna give it to Gold P right after him because he ain't made the opening statement yet. But we're gonna calm down and we're gonna do one at a time. Go ahead, Colonel Faulkner.
I think it might be a delay for some people. When a student is ready, the master appears. Because here's my thing: I hear this leadership shit. Women don't want leaders; they want saviors. I'm not Jesus Christ. That's not my cross to carry. That's not my burden to bear. If you make foolish decisions, even the women who got divorced, I've told many of women and go back to yes by yourself. That's stupid. But no, you crave your independence, and what did it get you? Poverty and going through dick to dick to dick. I mean, it's redundant. Like, here's my thing. In the black community, we're so quick to help women and girls from catastrophic failures, but you'll turn your nose up against young men trying to make it. And I always thought that was very hypocritical of the community, and that's at best. When we look at this, the black community don't owe black men shit. But let's suppose that black men don't owe the black community shit either. What is it giving you? Think about it. Your name is mud in a community that's supposed to be quote unquote yours, but you have no stake in it. You have no ownership of it. The first thing you do is when you become an adult male, they put all these responsibilities on you, but you can't reap none of the rewards. You're supposed to somehow circumvent the criminal justice system, get a degree, get a trade, have a dick like a fire hose, have 8-pack abs, have a chest that you can land, be handsome. But we're supposed to help the lady with 3 kids working at Burger King. I'm sorry, some people are just not going to make it. There are some casualties that are aboard that just won't make it. Black people need to be okay with that. We don't have any leadership and stake in this community. Time and time again, people have told you this. Sometimes you just got to sit back, put your sunglasses on, get your cognac, get your cigar, and watch the apocalypse happen. Think about it, how shook everybody was when the stamps were cut. I don't know about you, but my stomach was full. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of brothers' stomachs were full. We don't have the same worries as they do. If you want to be in this economy where everything's where the chance of living is going down and the cost of living is going up, and you want to make more babies and not be responsible with your reproductive system, why should we even donate and feel sorry for you? You're part of the issue as it is. But go ahead, folks. Go ahead, go.
I would say she part of the solution because
All
somebody
right,
got to
well,
have these baby. All you smart folks don't want to
hold
handle
fast.
kids.
I said we got to get Gold P. He ain't had
Oh,
a
my
chance to make
bad, my
open
bad,
statement.
my bad.
Now
my
you
bad.
you can come in right after Gold P. All right, go ahead, Gold P.
What's happening? What's
Damn, what's happening,
happening?
brother?
What's happening? What's
What's
happening?
good, man? Man, what's happening? I step in the building, off top. I say, hey, hit that like button, support the channel. You're on the Roger Report. Off top. I use my first minute, unlike the panel. Use my first minute to promote the channel, man. Just so y'all know. And then I use my second minute to talk stuff about Roger. I always gotta go. I gotta come in hot. By way of Shark Sims.
Just keep it under 2
Everybody.
minutes. Just keep it under 2 minutes.
Why you talking about my 2 minutes? I know the time, Roger. And I just want to say, I'm rocking with the creator, man. We all can be suckers too. You want to be a sucker out here, be a sucker. Not calling you a sucker, creator, but I'm just saying. Bye. Don't be no sucker out here. And that's my 2 minutes.
Okay. Well, creator, I go ahead and express your point. Go ahead. You were about to say something. Go ahead, express your point.
Yeah. So it's just really, and they go back to that, man. That's why I like it. I do. Don't be no sucker, bro. Stay sucker free. And that means apex preparation, right? As a man out here. So now I'm not sending our boys out here to be worrying about how bad a motherfucker is, because that's gonna come to him, regardless to what he looked like. He could be 500 pounds, 3'6", and he's still gonna have a portion of women that's gonna want him. He got to know what to do with them when they come to him. He got to know that all of them you cannot touch, right? Some of them you really might need in your life later on. You didn't freak her and have a fucked up relationship with her. Find out that, her toes ain't the way that you want them, right? And now you can't utilize her nursing skills or her dental skills or her military prowess or whatever it is that these, are human beings, right? But then it go back to the dad. Where are we trajectorizing our daughters? Now, he said they could end up in hell, but how are we I ain't saying all of them. Again, we said this is a percentage. How can we help drop the percentage and even be intentional with the other 90 some odd percent? What's that, 98%? You said 2-3% of the women acting bad.
That's my estimation. The CDC estimated up to 8%. They said up.
All right, so okay, so the other 92%, you understand, we can now be deliberate. Like we said, we as the men. I don't care what them women doing and how they move. Okay, we just gonna keep walking. It's like a march, and we lock arms and we just walking.
And they
Wait,
be like,
I'm
hold
what
on.
y'all do?
confused
Go
though.
ahead,
Can I
what
say
you? Nope,
something
we
real
just
quick?
walking.
Somebody's
Anybody that
next.
ain't
Sorry.
locked with these 30 million, you understand? We just walking, we moving. This is how we, and wherever we go, guess what's gonna happen? You either gonna get speed on or you're gonna get peed on. When we moving and we moving with purpose and a plan, right? I'm not worried about what everybody else, I'm not worried about what's going on behind me. I'm just walking, I'm moving, right? And we locked in, we focus. It's a purpose. They're gonna follow that. They don't only have no choice. Those that don't want to, beat it. That's what I need to see. I need to see who down. And I don't need to look back to see. I'll know by how we moving. Things
I'm
start to
confused.
be different. People start to treat you different. They start to line up. They want to follow you, right? They're gonna give 150%. Excuse me, like anybody would, with like you work for your company or your college or anything else. You have to create that in women. You know how a woman be when she first see you, she's like, oh my God, you everything until y'all start
See,
relating. She get different.
I can't.
Entitlement
Well,
I
come in.
can't.
Entitlement comes in,
I gotta
I
ask
right?
you.
can't
And
do
you
it,
don't
player.
regulate that.
Yeah, I
Some
can't do
men don't
what
know
you
how
just
to
said,
properly
player.
regulate what they own and sharing with others.
You said a lot of words and you ain't say nothing.
Nothing.
That's the crazy part. You literally stepped on your own toes like 3, 4 times every time you talk. First, if they don't follow, you leave them by the roadside. But then you say you pick them up because they're gonna follow if you lead appropriately. It's weird, man. It's like you not saying anything.
Yeah, well, that's for you. Whatever's working for you, if you leading people, then I'll say your shit's successful, whatever you doing. But whatever
Oh
I'm
God.
doing, hold on. Whatever
All right,
I'm
cool.
doing,
It's cool. It's
right?
cool.
I have to do by practice. I can't do by theory. So I'm gonna do what I think is working. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna share. That's all I can do is share, right? What I'm doing, and then now let me hear what you doing, right? Let me
Well,
see if that gonna work. Let me go see. Hold on, because I don't have no women that got a problem. When I meet anybody, I have no problem with us working shit out. The problem is a man feel like he more than what he really is. However, whatever it is in
What?
his head. Hold
wait, nah,
on.
cause
He feel like,
you
hold on.
being
That's
long
real
winded,
life.
bro.
That's real
Cut that
life.
nigga mic off.
That's
Cut that
real
nigga
life.
mic
You
off.
being
That's
very
real
long
life,
winded.
brother.
Cut that nigga
See,
mic off.
just like you doing now. Just like you
I don't
doing
even
now.
know what
You
you're saying
challenging what I'm
though.
saying.
You're not. I don't think you
Challenging what I say.
understand.
You have that right. I
But
have
can
the
I?
But
right
you
to speak how I want.
you
And just
do.
Well,
You
hold
do.
on.
You do.
Just because you
Yes, you do.
challenge me ain't the proof that you correct. So now we have to develop a standard on where you saying turn his mic off. Well, okay, well, what makes you and what you saying the authority then? Since I should shut
It,
my mic off
No,
and
no,
nobody's
you can't
saying that
hold
you
the
he
should
was
shut
being
your
blame.
mic off,
facetious.
What
He's
makes
being
you
facetious.
the
He
bro.
wasn't
authority?
doing that.
That's
You
not
mad long
facetious.
winded. You've been
That means he
talking
got
for
a
like
plan
5
that
minutes
worked
straight.
when you say shit like that. You have a
No,
plan better
well,
than what I'm
what he,
saying.
I my man, you got
You
to
need to
use a
hear it.
period, player. You can't just keep talking. So
I need
what
to
the
hear
pro?
it. Are you
Here, what the
talking
problem?
again?
I'm
I'm
telling you what
talking
the problem is.
planning.
Stop
I'm
talking,
talking strictly
my
planning and
man. If you keep this
execution.
up, you ain't gonna be
Bro,
able to
You
talk no
talking
more.
about what
Just
I'm
chill.
talking about, brother.
all
This is
right, can
crazy.
somebody
I'm
else talk
not.
now?
What we're saying is we don't understand what you're
No, it ain't no
saying
we.
because
It's you. It's you right now.
all right,
So
I'll
say
say
you.
me. All right, I'll say me. I don't
Me
understand what
too.
you're
Say
saying
you.
because
And if
everything
somebody
that you
else,
say,
that means
everything
all you
that you
saying
say, you don't,
what I'm
you
talking
don't,
about.
but all
you
right,
don't end in
Creator, you gotta
anything
let somebody else get
specific.
a word out. You gotta let somebody else get a word out, brother.
Yeah,
It's a
you don't
conversation.
end. You don't end with any specifics.
Well, we
Everything
have
is vague. You
okay. I
don't.
don't know what it is.
You actually sitting. You actually sitting on the fence, and you not touching either side. You just trying to be encompassing, but you don't say anything. You're not. You say something that seemed like something, but then the next second you saying the complete opposite that
I'm
conflicts what
saying
you're
if
saying.
you compose enough, if
Hold
you
on.
have
I ain't
I
get a
don't know
chance to
how
go yet,
clear I can
Creator.
say, as a man, if you
Go
have
ahead,
capacity
Sharp. You could try.
to lead, if you
Oh
have
no.
capacity, you doing something. I don't have. Ain't nobody getting ready. People gonna follow you. They're gonna follow you. Now, if you want people on your squad, you need to have capacity to know how to manage, right? Said people back in the day, my niggas used to call it pimping, right? I don't do whole management. That's what I tell them.
So you
I don't
talking
get
about
in the
man?
whole management, bro. I'll
Are,
let you
are
know.
I
you are you
No,
Yeah.
familiar
no,
with
no.
the term
Yeah. Now,
filibustering?
Yeah, no, hold
hold
on, hold
on.
on. I'm gonna let. I gotta
Brothers.
let Shark get in, and I definitely gotta say something. But Shark, go ahead, brother, because it's a conversation. Everybody who come up supposed to be getting a chance to speak. Go ahead, Shark.
like this is the problem with the self righteousness and all of that. The fathers and the fathers in the house and all of this stuff. The chicks with fathers in the house is still doing the same thing. They don't want to be led. These chicks right now, they want to own the store. They want to manage the store, but they want you to stock the store. That does not work. It doesn't work. So what are you gonna do? You're like y'all really be he's talking. Oh, my daughter's into. Man, I don't I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it's dudes like you who daughters is getting fucked on all over America right now. They don't listen. They're not going to listen. So we went. If you don't have a means of punishment, it's not working, bro. We're in different times. I understand what you're talking about from the 80s and the 90s, but we're in 2025. It's not working now. So
May I
and
respond?
back to what
Well, no,
to
no.
famous Rael. Can you do this? Can you do these things with the women in your family? Can you control the women in your family? If
That
not, then
should have
you
been
can't
your
talk
first
about
question.
nothing else
I'm gonna
until you
back
can
up.
get your little cousins not to be baby mothers. So you can get your aunties not to be baby mothers. So you get your
That
mother
should have
not to
been
be
your
a
first
baby mother.
question, but instead, just like a young man, you ran right in off of your emotions, right? And it's okay, but it's okay, right? You ain't been, you haven't been, obviously, again, your pappy, you know what I mean, ain't talking like I'm talking. Your daddy and your granddaddy and them ain't teaching you this, so it's foreign to you, and you love them to death. But
Okay.
unfortunately, again, they didn't teach you nothing. That's why niggas is sitting up. That's why these women don't have respect for the men because they don't want to be led down no direction that you not going. We the same. You work for the same white man that us.
Are you
That's
married,
crazy.
creator?
And you think she want to follow you just because you hanging and swinging?
Wait,
No, you
creator,
don't.
are you
She
No,
creator?
ain't.
Are you married?
Yes, I am,
uh,
sir.
uh,
Proudly
my
for a
thing is,
long time.
Congratulations for that, then.
it don't even
For
matter.
a
Look,
long time.
look. Now I'm stepping in. Look, at the end of the day, the issue ain't really the ones with husbands. Notice it's the single mother named Patricia who got a 577 a month deficit. She ain't got no husband. Notice the woman with the 3 kids who's working at Burger King at 12 hours, she ain't got no husband. Women with husbands don't usually pop up in all these problems. Now the thing is,
I agree.
if the woman elects not to have a husband, why should we care? This is an elected thing. In
Thank you.
America, it is not that hard, even for a black woman to get a husband. All she got to do is present herself to a man and make him understand that she is worthy of a man. That's all she got to do.
She don't
Okay.
have a husband because she don't want a husband.
Right.
I'm not arguing that at all. Because my thing is, it's easy for them to get a husband. Okay, and that's just that simple at the end of the day. So if a woman doesn't have a husband, why would I look at her and see her as part of my community? I don't. She's
Well,
not.
Roger, I would say the opposite, brother. It
God
is
damn.
not easy for them to find a husband,
Yeah,
man.
it is. No, if they would present themselves right, which is
Nah, nah, nah,
no,
no.
bro. How
Go
hard is
ahead.
it? How hard is it? How much effort goes into not wearing a wig?
Well, Roger, I mean, it's easy to say that they
How
can
much effort
find.
goes into not wearing eyelashes?
Listen, bro.
Hold
Listen.
on, hold on.
Go
How much
ahead,
effort
man.
goes into not jumping on every dick just because it's available?
Okay.
How much effort goes into not wearing the most revealing clothes possible? Like this stuff ain't that hard to have
Okay,
to do.
Roger. I'm saying to you, I think I'm just giving you an opposite of. I think that it is complicated for them to do that because
Also,
of
also
because
Gold
of,
P.
because of what time we're in now. It speaks to what Shark is saying. We're in 2025, man. If it was that easy, then we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I don't think
So,
difficulty is the
Oh,
issue.
Exactly.
The
It's
issue
that's
hard.
not the
It's not
case.
complete.
That's not
my
the
It's
thing
too
case.
is,
hard.
hold on real quick, and
Hold
I'm
on.
gonna let Cat
It's
get
too
in because he was
hard,
trying to get
man.
in. I'm gonna
Oh,
say I don't
Kevin's
think
up.
the issue is difficulty. The issue is desire. It's not difficulty. Go ahead, Cat.
Gold P.
Yes, sir.
How So you mean to tell me, on average, if the average black woman had a good attitude and was nice to the average black men, most of them wouldn't be married? This is what you're saying?
I'm saying that because of where we are today, uh, it is complicated for them to marry because of their behavior. They can't get by themselves.
Who's in control of their behavior?
They
They
are.
are in control of their behaviors.
Well, they got full control on getting married. You said that's the
No,
problem, and they
I'm
got
saying
control
I'm
over it.
saying they can't get out of their own way.
Well, I think you need to clarify. They don't want to be disciplined.
Okay,
So if they don't want to be disciplined, that's not a difficulty. That's you being hard headed.
okay,
So if you're hard headed and your life is a mess, then I don't know what else we're supposed to say.
Okay.
okay.
Sucker
So then,
free.
it's exactly. So then
Okay.
we move to sucker free. But then the question is, what responsibilities do black men have for this?
None.
So then why are we making arguments
Zero.
like they do?
You only people you responsible for is your children and your wife
And yourself.
and
I'm
yourself. I
saying,
agree.
I'm saying that in the days of now, if they proclaim to be the most educated, they have all the resources, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They live online and tell you all day, then that would mean that they're getting in their own way.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
I think we need to.
Hold
There's
on,
some
hold
fun.
on, hold
Sorry,
on.
go ahead, Raj.
'Cause my thing is this. We got to really back a little bit, y'all. We got an example of some lady named Patricia and some women with 3 kids. Al Gore been a little busy with these women because there's 4 kids amongst them.
Al
We
Gore.
we don't know who these kids are from. We assume you can assume they from black men. We don't even know if Patricia's actually black. She could be a white woman for all we know. But it doesn't make a difference because there's black women who go through a very similar situation. At the end of the day, these women are not in no difficult position. Because let's be realistic. Would a black man accept a fat woman with a great attitude to be his wife?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
There's plenty of them out there that would
yes.
take her. Let's
If her
just keep it
toes
real.
pretty.
Okay. Okay, maybe her toes need to be pretty, but there are
No, they'll
men that
take her.
would take her. That's Patricia only got 1 kid, so she's just in a much better situation. So black men would take her too. The issue is they made these decisions of their own accord, and nobody's responsible for this but them. This is not a black man's responsibility. Whoever had kids with them only had kids with them because she didn't want him around. That's why he did it. He was comfortable having kids that he didn't have to take care of. That's why he chose to have them
Small.
with her. It's that
Oh,
simple. So if a man is going to be that way, which is hard to find any black man that's in that way in the first place, you got to step past 92% of men to even find one of those guys. Obviously, she sought it out. That's obvious. You can't get to something at 8% without moving past the 92%, and it ain't deliberate. You got to be deliberate to get past 92% of something. That's a very deliberate action. So that's what they wanted. At the end of the day, I ain't tripping that that's what they wanted, but I don't care that you have to work like I gotta work. I done worked 12-hour shifts before. That don't mean nothing to me. I done worked in fast food twice. That don't mean nothing to me either. Nothing about their stories are impressive. Okay. I know people who worked at the bank. I didn't work at the bank. I technically I had worked at a bank. No. Technically, no. I've done security, which I've said before, and I've actually been placed at banks. At the end of the day, these are all choices people need to make. If you choose to live this way, that's on you. There is no man responsible for that. If you wanted a man responsible for that, you would have got a man who's responsible to have your children with. They didn't want a responsible man to have children with.
but
That's
as a
not a
payer
man's
of
issue.
them, then
No,
we
no, no.
still like. I want
There's
to know where that
always
man
going to
at.
be some man who's going to be rogue, and they
I don't
choose
pay
to
that nigga.
go
I don't
past
pay that nigga bill.
92% of men to find the 8% of rogue men to do this with. That's not a male issue.
I
You
don't
skip
want to
past
pay somebody else's
92%
bill,
to
Roger.
get to the
That's what I'm
8%.
saying. That's really what it comes down to. I don't want to pay his bills, so I want to arm all our men, right? I'm just being real. I don't want to pay your bills. I want you to be prepared. You're going to need somewhere to live. You're going to need to know how to count. You're going to need to know that if you do go freak something, you're going to take care of that thing, right? Because I don't want to. I'm letting you know this now. I'm being deliberate, right? And moving forward. That 92%, we letting you know what's going down. So if you choose to be the 8%, you know that you get, I'm telling you off the barrel head, right? I don't want nothing to do with you. I'm not providing you resources. You on your own. We upgrading.
But
Everybody else around us is upgrading. Ain't
but
nobody coming down on mortgages. They talking about 50-year mortgages,
no,
which I
but,
think is
but
a
that's
good,
what I'm
this is
saying.
the
Y'all
issue.
talking
which
about
is
the
a good thing. I
92%,
think it's a good thing. But
Hold
I'm
on,
saying
sir. Hold on, sir.
everybody else is deliberately preparing.
No.
We should be
Creator.
deliberately
One
preparing as well.
second, bro. Because the issue is not paying for the 8% of men. The 8% of men, if we're paying for them, usually they in prison. The who we're paying for is the women who have the babies with the 8% of men. That's who we're actually paying for because we're providing housing, food, and medical care for these women. That's reality, whether we like it or not. We're not
That
paying for
is the
them.
real reality.
Yeah, we're not paying for them, but we are paying for these women. At least for the most part, we're not paying for the men, but we definitely paying for these women.
No, I'm saying that's where it comes to. I need to know where you at, right? Again, being a dad, having girls. Hey, I need you're not getting ready to have a child by mine and think you getting ready to dip and not stand on what you need to stand on. Is what I'm saying.
Well, how
This is
you
why I have
gonna
a
You ain't
stop
problem.
gonna
them then?
you
How
ain't
you
gonna have
gonna
no
stop?
control over that.
How you gonna stop them?
I don't
Yeah.
well, I can't. I'm there again. It go by preparation. That's why that's the
No,
same
You
no.
thing.
can
It
Hold
goes
on.
back
Can I
to
prepare. You could no.
preparation,
Hold
brother.
on.
go
You can
ahead? Go ahead,
prepare.
TJ.
You can prepare her all you want, but when she's an adult and she get outside, jump off the porch, how you gonna stop her? Especially when she's enthralled with the man she's head over heels for.
Well,
How you gonna
Yeah.
stop?
Man,
hold
I
on. To
can't
me,
stop her.
because
That's my point. I can't
to
stop
me,
her.
no. Hold on. That's not even the real issue. Usually, women who are single mothers, their mama was a single mother. That's not even the real issue. The women who actually have fathers in the home do better than the women who grow up without the father. So my thing is, we can't conflate two different issues. We got issues with women who ain't got no father present.
Ding, 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 ding.
So keep
Where
arguing
they gonna
about
get learning from, Roger? Where would they
no.
get
No,
that?
no.
The
Time
thing
out. Time
is,
out. Time out. Can I say something, Roger, real
there
quick?
is an easy way to learn, and there's a hard way to learn. I presented two women who are technically learning the hard way right now. They should be people that we don't have that much care for. If you want to get back right with us, you find a man, you marry him, and you be a good wife, and you
Can
good.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
All
Creator.
right, I got after Uru.
There's no way you can compel leadership upon people who refuse to take it in American society. Now, if we were in Saudi Arabia somewhere or some some other place where by definition of being a man, it gives you higher authority over women, then you could do something. You could do something with them. You could put them in a position. Hell, you could make them a second wife or some shit like that. Where okay, you fucked up, but to protect you and these children, we're gonna give you to this other man, and you're gonna be a subordinate wife to his primary wife. That if you want to know how you fix this, that's what you would do. Guess what? You can't do that in America. You can't do
You
that in
fix
America.
so
So, like,
Anything
hold
you
on. Let me. Can
attempt
I say
to
what I'm
do,
saying? My fault,
anything you
Uru.
would
My bad. I
attempt
thought you
to
finished.
do, that woman and the state would thwart your effort, would use your efforts against you, probably would punish you, probably would even lock you up. For the things that you would have to do to help that Burger King woman, you'd probably be breaking American law.
yeah, no, I'm not talking about helping that woman. So let's get that clear. I'm talking about arming our men to not even have the foresight to not even mess with that type of woman, right? And that type of woman will have to upgrade herself. Because again, like my man said, as soon as he seen the wig, that told him everything that that's the foresight I'm talking about right there. Apparently, we have a lot of men who don't know their value until it's too late. This is what I'm saying. And even the women don't understand their value. Hold on, because they got that from their mama. You just said it, who was a single mom. So who gave her straightening in her life? She don't want to listen to nobody. There was no obviously, hold on. At some point, there had to be some type of men around. Because most women get their game. They all gang yeah, they hang around a lot of women, but they getting their resources from men. That's just what it is. And what are the men that you around armed with is where I be at. So now I'm not even talking about us, hold on, who have capacity. I'm talking about those who actually now getting ready to come in and one day they gonna be us. And I want that little guy to be the best he could possibly be.
Okay, I mean, this is the thing. As black men, we are there. I don't know why y'all don't want to accept that. If 92% of men are not the problem, then we're there already. There is no place to get to. We're already there. We need to maintain, possibly increase to 92% to 93, 94, 95, but we already there. So why do we talk as if we're not?
I like that 92%.
Roger,
We'll just improve on that value, is what I'm saying.
No. My thing is,
Improve on that
realistically
value.
speaking, I cannot say something is problematic and you're 92% good when you're talking about people, because you ain't gonna never get people at 100%.
Well, can I say what I'm gonna say real quick?
Go ahead.
There are women out here with all their parents, both of their grandparents, and they are doing this nonsense. Like Uru said, if you don't, there's no correcting this in America. Literally, I literally know girls with mother and father living in the home, coming home with single with a kid and no husband, ain't with the father of the children, or 9 months after the baby's born.
No, I mean that is true.
College education and all of that.
That is true, but they're not the majority of single mothers. There's a small section of them. The majority of single mothers do come from women who never married their father in the first place. That's the reality. So anything can happen in any scenario.
Here's the math problem, Roger. Though here's the math problem. The math problem is the so-called quote good people are not reproducing at all or barely at all.
Right. That's true.
So the
That's
problem
what I
gets
was saying.
magnified by Burger King woman because she's got 3 kids. She's fucking up. She's got 3 kids. She's fucking up. While Denise, who has maybe got a master's degree or whatever, and she's married and child. She's unmarried and child. Probably had a couple of abortions along the way, but she's unmarried and child. And now she may have come from a 2-family household. That's probably why she was able to get through college. So she probably has some good qualities, but she's still probably fucking around with guys she probably ain't got no business fucking around with on Saturday night. And if she gets knocked up, she just goes and gets an abortion. It gets tidied up, and nobody knows what kind of hole or whatever she is. Because she tidies up and she goes to work on Monday at, in the corporate office. So the problem worsens because one Burger King lady has 3, 4, 5 kids, and Denise ain't having no kids and ain't getting married. That's how the problem gets worse.
I think it's more fundamental, Ru. I think the problem rests in so in our current discussion, there's a really big flaw that I don't think anybody is seeing. It don't matter if niggas mess with trashy hoes. It's really irrelevant if we do or we don't. If all this do no, well, we don't control whether or not they have babies. They do. So what y'all missing is you want to try to control their actions and their habits and their choices by curtailing your actions, your habits, and your choices. Well, that would be great if they designated you as their leader, but they don't. Why would you curtail your actions to hopefully manipulate somebody else who ain't planning to listen to you anyway.
So who they
This,
listening to then?
yo,
Who they listen to?
Their
Oh, you
leader.
missing? But hold
Their
on, you're missing
leader.
the point.
yo,
You're missing my whole point. It
he's not
doesn't
true.
matter
He's not missing
who
the
they
point. He
listening
doesn't
to.
want to get the point.
I hear you,
He
but
does. He's
it
not
doesn't
missing the point. He
matter.
just doesn't want
It
to answer.
doesn't. But hear me out.
They're listening to whoever they want to listen to, who will facilitate what they
Right.
want to do.
Thank you.
If the
Boom.
It don't
government is
matter.
telling them to
Thank
go,
you.
if the
Yeah.
government is
Thank you,
telling
sir.
them,
No matter how much of a
I'm going
man
to
you
give you
are,
a house
All right,
Okay,
Black
and
Who
hold
money
on.
speaking.
for
Everybody
you to
stop.
have
Let Black Who
more
speak.
babies, if the government is saying if you have more babies and whatever, I'll give you a house
Boom.
and food and college and whatever, then that's who I'm going to listen to.
I don't even
If a
have to
sugar
listen. You see
daddy
what I'm
say
saying?
I'm
I'm
going to put you
incentivized.
in an apartment, if a sugar daddy say I'm going to put you in an apartment and pay you X number of dollars a month for you to bust wide open a few times a month, that's who I'm going to listen to. But it's
That's an
all
option.
their choice
Incentivized.
ultimately who they listen to. It's ultimately
So
their choice.
this is my point. My
can I
point
say?
is it's irrelevant who they're listening to because we don't care. They're not following us. Why do y'all niggas care why they're making the mistakes they make and want to take responsibility to try to fix them when they don't even want you to help them fix it? Who
Thank
cares
you.
why they're making the mistakes they making? Who cares why they choose to do this themselves? If they suffering because of the choices they make, who am I to step in and say, she shouldn't be suffering? Of course she should. She made stupid mistakes. That's what happens. It's called life. And for some strange
Two
reason,
fellas.
niggas want to argue about what men should do to try to change these women. No, this is who they are. Let them be who they are. Keep it moving.
Yeah, I
Yo,
guess I
truth
look at
teller.
it from
You know
that.
Well,
the real shit. The real problem that's going on right now, honestly, is this dude. He's a whole father of daughters, right? And this dude wants us. He wants to put all the responsibilities that he had to
J, J
raising his
Moore.
kid on us.
J, J Moore. J Moore. Look, we what we not gonna do is get into disrespecting the people on the panel. If you got something to say, leave the panel out of it. Just make your point, brother. Just make your
Oh,
point.
okay,
I'm a
Thank
father of
you,
I'll
a.
make the
Roger.
point. This I'm just
But I'm
saying
saying,
that you know
saying
all this stuff that you guys are
thank
putting
you
on
very
us
much.
dudes for these girls and stuff. They are not our kids. They're not our responsibilities. Honestly, f your daughters. I don't give a shit. If you did not raise your kids to do the right thing in the future, it's not my responsibility as a man to go out and save these random hussies. It's not my problem, not my fault. F your daughters. I do not care. We're on a Titanic with your daughter. You think I give a shit? I will kick that bitch over and get my spot.
Man, you
Like for real, for
man,
real. I am sick of
brother,
this shit.
slow down. Slow down, brother. We trying to keep the logic board alive, bro. You real
Yeah,
high out there, bro. You
yeah.
all right?
Because it's
You went
because it's the one
overboard.
thing that
Tell me how
no
you
because the
really
one thing that
feel.
pissing me
Tell me
no
how you
because the
really
one thing that's
feel.
pissing me off is the one thing that's pissing me off is when an elder is
Just,
consistently lying and
just
playing
watch
games and
language, man.
obfuscating from the truth.
No,
Just
J
slow
And that's what I
down,
hate
man.
the most.
J
Slow
Moore.
down, man.
I don't.
Hey,
Slow
hey,
down.
hey.
Please let me
Let
respond,
Jay
Roger. But
Moore
hey, I'm gonna back up.
let
But
Jay
please
Moore
let me
get his
respond.
roll off. Let Jay Moore get his roll off.
I'm just saying, in general, I am sick of older gentlemen that's supposed to be our freaking guidance, our elders to help us get to a better future. Help, like, keep lying. It's like what Ed be saying. Like, these older niggas be trying to hide the facts of what's going on from the past and making us have to go through this shit over and over again. And I'm sick of it. And the fact that these people keep trying to make us, like, solve their daughter's problems. And I'm like, it's not our responsibility. Why do you keep putting this responsibility on us dudes that had nothing to do with your daughter's lives? And if your daughter done fucked up her life, why do I have any obligation to go out and save your daughter's life? Where is any of the thanks or any obligation, any of the payment or anything? You want me to do all this shit for free? And that's the other part that really pissed me off. He's saying all these guys be saying all this shit and they want us to do this shit
God
with
damn it.
no
He Borging right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
hey man,
you got
payment.
I just wanted to ask
Nothing
him how
like
he
no highs, no
was.
thank you, no money, nothing. They just want to
you gotta let these young guys speak on this because they're the ones who got to deal with
Yeah,
this shit
I'm
going into
quiet.
the
Let them
future.
get it out, brother. Get it out for real, for real.
Hey, I'm with him, you know, but we are mindful of, you know, Roger always says, hey, we want to, you know, be mindful of our language. That's the only
No,
thing
no.
I say.
My thing
Let
is,
the man speak.
is
So
it's fine to let him get it off. Black
hey,
rules.
the
I
princess.
know if I cut off.
Yes, you
No,
got
no,
cut off.
you start borging a little bit, but I'm gonna tell y'all notice it's Black rule because he is an elder. If he tell me to do something, usually I'm gonna do whatever Black rule say without question. That's just the way it is because I do respect
Yeah.
my elders
Now,
at the
now,
end of the day.
Jay Moore, we
Mm,
will
yes,
respect Roger's language criteria. We want his channel to grow, so we're gonna try to minimize the profanity. But all the
yes,
energy
sir.
you have for the subject, it's a in my view, you younger men are due this. You know, and there are times when us older brothers need to step back and let them get their shit off, man. You know, just kind of moderate the swearing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
And I'm just saying, don't make it personal to people on the panel. That's all. You know, we can talk about this stuff without making it a personal attack on anybody on the panel. I'm saying that for everybody. We can say all this stuff without making it personal. At the end of the
But
day,
Roger,
I go ahead, go ahead.
the one issue about this whole personal thing is the fact that this dude is personally talking about men. Like we're supposed to do this stuff. I'm taking it personal because he is talking about us. And I'm like, dude, you want to make it personal, then you're gonna get upset about personal shit. Like, dude, I mean personal stuff. Keep it to yourself. That like that's my whole thing. It's just like, dude, you're coming out here speaking all this stuff, telling us to do this stuff, but you're not really even answering stuff. Like what Truth Teller was saying earlier, you're on the fence. You don't answer anything. You don't stay on topic. You just keep playing both sides of the field. And I'm like, yo, just give us the answer. Well, I already gave you the answer. Say it then. Say the answer. Well, I said it. If you can't understand, see, that's why you're too young. You don't understand it anymore. I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? Now you're just playing games with me, playing mental games with me. And I'm like, yo, honestly, I don't care. And that's my
Yeah.
problem. And it's like my whole thing is like for real. If you're an elder, act like such. Be that. Stop trying to make us go down into a path that we're not supposed to. If you know what's right, why don't you help us? And that's the issue that I have with a lot of these elder black men. If they're like Black Uru, I love them. I revere them. I give them all the respect in the world. But if you're like this dude, I'm like, yo, bro, I don't care anymore. Like, you're asking
Well,
me to do something from a time
like
that will
like
never
like Roger
reoccur during
like
this time.
Roger said. Like
My
Roger
fault.
said,
Yeah,
we're
my
gonna
fault.
try to limit attacking. You know, I mean, we can just focus on what we
Nah, he
believe
deserves all
is
the
not
smoke.
true or right or
Get him, get
facts.
him.
We can focus on that without necessarily being accusatory towards anyone in particular on the panel. And that goes all in all directions. Even myself, I'm sure there have been moments at times when I maybe unfairly directed something to some individual. It's something we all just have to be mindful of. Even Gold Pete.
Hey,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah, don't forget Gold P out here, man. We always gotta send that over there. Yeah, man. Wow.
Uru, Uru, we didn't see it coming. We didn't see it coming at all. We did not see it coming.
Wait, hold
Statement of
on,
the show
hold
right
on.
there. Statement of the
Hey,
show right
Roger.
there.
Hey, Roger. You see how
Bro,
people go.
bro,
I was supposed to
Black
be the one
Guru
to say,
just
hey,
made a
hold
very
on.
eloquent
Hold
speech that
on.
I have to
No, man.
agree with word for word.
Oh,
Word,
man.
bar for bar, word for
You
word. He
see,
on
man.
point.
You see how that worked, man?
What? Bar for bar, he was on point.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Roger, can
I'm
I say
going on
something real
mute,
quick?
man. I'm going on mute.
Yeah, okay.
Can I
Because
say
Shark want
something
to
real
get
quick?
in anyway. Go
I
ahead,
think
Shark.
I think I have the solution. Because like the man, you can't go upside the head and all of that, right? But her parents can. So why don't if they doing these dumb things, they gotta go live back with their parents if they can't survive on their own. Maybe that'll make the parents more accountable. Like we treat the little kid like they're saying now, these little kids doing crimes and all that. The parents is gonna have to go to jail for the kids doing dumb stuff. Just make it back to that. I bet you these girls' fathers will make sure they marry. They looking at the right man to have a baby with. I bet you they'll make sure that she don't bring that child to birth. So she, you know what I'm saying, like that. Because
I
if
don't
you
think
can't,
that's gonna work, Sharp. Because
yeah,
remember the lady
I don't
that her
think you're
kids
gonna be
died in the
either.
parking garage? My mama was there too, so I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah, and she went out clubbing the next week or something. Like,
Damn, truth teller, you just shot my shit down like that. All right, you right, you right.
I'm sorry. I'm
When you right,
sorry.
you right. When you right, you right.
I'm
Every,
sorry.
everything will take a little bit of time and preparation. Everything takes a little time and preparation. But I do want to say this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna ask a real question. And this is not the spark. This is just to see where the mentality is. Okay, I'm gonna go back to 13, 14-year-old Roger. Right? Okay. Let's go back to me as a young kid. Now, creator. This is the thing. I go to school with your daughter. Now I'm a kid myself at the time, so I'm different than I am now. I'm a kid. Your daughter hits me for some reason. I beat the brakes off your daughter because my response to getting hit is I'm in a fight and I have to win because I can't trust the other person to be decent if I lose. Okay, and I'm saying this very realistically, y'all. This is why I don't start nothing with nobody. 'Cause I cannot trust the person. If they beat me, I can't trust that they're going to be decent toward me if I lose. I could be knocked out. They could do anything to me. I can't afford to just take that. I have to win. Okay, that's my mentality. I must win. I don't care if it's a girl. So now your girl, she starts something with me. I did not start it with her. She did something wrong. I'm not saying you raised your daughter to be bad, but everybody's bad at some point in time in their life. Now, if I beat the brakes off your daughter, how do you handle that situation?
I mean, you probably had to give a better example because me and my daughters are close. I'm close with all
No,
my
no,
family.
I'm giving
So
you all the credit in the
yo, I
world that you raised your daughter correctly, but it's just that one day because no kid is 100% perfect. You know what I'm saying?
ain't no
She
kid
mad.
perfect. But
Let's say
again,
she.
that's why I speak on deliberation. So I couldn't,
What?
you know what I mean?
Well,
Okay, hold on. No, you right.
I'm
All right,
gonna
let me
make
go back.
I'm
Let me
gonna make
reverse.
some kind of
Roger,
example for you, just to be
I
realistic.
got an example.
All right,
What?
I got an
give it
example
to
for
me.
this thing. I was with I was with my ex and her father. I went to go see
What?
her father and everything like that. And he asked me to go out here and protect his daughter. Like if something ever happened, you gotta do something. You gotta go out here and protect his daughter. And I looked at him and I was like, "What is your daughter gonna do to protect me? What would happen if your daughter end up dying on my like in my case? Are you gonna attack me about it? Well, you're the man. You're the man. You're supposed to do. I'm like, so wait. So what is your daughter supposed to do if my life is in danger? Is she supposed to step out of the way and let it
No,
happen?
no, no, no,
Well,
no.
I'm not saying, but you're the man. I'm like, no.
No, no. Hold on, because I don't want it to be that severe. I want it to be young people. It's just something at school. Some kids was teasing somebody. Okay. At the end of the day, she was just part of the crew. She didn't even start it. She was just part of the crew. But I step in for the kid. Maybe the kid is my friend, and now stuff gets said by other kids and things like that. And then she ends up. Let's say she threw a book at me. She hit me upside the head with a book. Okay. Boom, there we go. She done hit me upside the head with a book. Now I go after her because she done hit me with a book. Okay, so now she done came home. We got to all deal with this at school tomorrow. They want you to come to the school. Well, they want her parents. They want my parents to come to the school. How do you see this situation?
If that was my son and that happened to him,
Not
I'd
you,
probably
J
attack the
Mo. I'm
father
asking
afterwards.
creator. I'm asking creator.
Oh,
Okay, repeat that concisely, please.
Okay. There's a kid being picked on is somewhat. Kid happens to be a buddy of mine. Your daughter's friends are bothering the kid. I come over there to help the kid because he's my buddy. Okay. The kids get mad. At some point in time, your daughter, not even being the starter of all the stuff, she just kind of going along to get along, but she ends up throwing a book at me and she hit me in the head with a book. Now I go after your daughter, okay, because she didn't hit me in the head with a book. Now me, it's fight time, okay? So now we get into a fight. I beat her up the same way I would beat up a little boy. Now, our parents got to go to school the next day. So now I'm up there with my parents, you up there with your parents. What's your disposition on what needs to happen in this situation?
Yeah, she should have won at all costs. That's what I would have said. I mean, that's how way I raised her. You should have controlled the whole situation to where my theory is don't have them white folk call my phone. So whatever you need to do to manage the situation, don't have them call my phone. And I arm her with as much as I possibly can, right? So that she don't end up in that situation. But if she do, then shit, it is what it is. I'm gonna back her up 100%. That's my daughter. So whatever she did, she felt like she was within her rights to do. I'm her patriarch. So yeah, I'm gonna stand right behind her.
That's the problem right
And
there.
and that's
I
the
have a
bitch
daughter.
ass that I'm talking
I have
about.
a wait. I have a daughter. I'm gonna tell you what I told my daughter when she was growing up. Don't ever put your hands on a boy because you'll never know when he's gonna hit you back, and you ain't gonna win. And you should be as sweet and as kind to every boy on the school campus so they don't have a reason to put their hands on you. That's standard protocol. Standard.
Yeah, but shit happened, and just
Wow. Yeah.
unfortunately, hold on, little
And
boy.
shit
No,
happened.
for
She
real,
got her
in
ass
real
whooped. What's
life,
up?
look, hold on, in real life, little boys don't care about that. These are little girls now, and thank God that, to be frank, I'd have never had to deal with no situations where my daughters had to fight any damn body, because again, I'm gonna arm you with
Very
certain
good.
ways to move. Hold on, with certain ways to move and discern the type of people you even need to be around to be in certain situations. You see how that protection starts right there.
Hold on,
Now,
because
hold on. If you got to
no,
disruin
because my thing is, I don't want this to be about whether you're a good father or not. I'm giving you all that
no, I
throughout
mean
the
these
door.
are hold
Yeah.
on. These are strategies, is what I'm talking about, Roger. I think
No,
this is what
See,
I'm
but
putting out
right,
as
there,
no, it's
strategy.
not. So
there's
can I go? Because
a
Roger, he's not answering the question, and he's dancing around it.
what
He didn't even
I
answer
do
it at
want to
all.
I do want to make this clear. My ideal is, how should punishment go out to these kids? Because at the end of the
Right.
day, I'm the kid that went after the girl. The girl did throw a book at me and hit me upside the head with the book, though. Yeah, there were other kids involved in all that, but they didn't get to a physical point. The physicality came when she threw the book upside my head. Okay, now I'm using the book because the book would hurt. They ain't gonna kill nobody per se, but a book still would hurt, especially
But it
if
probably
you did
could
it at
have.
an angle.
That's what I did taught
Well,
her.
here
It
I can
could
tell
have.
you as a
So that's
father,
a
if
fact.
as a father, if I was in that position, the two things: my daughter caught an ass whooping because she was supposed to. That's the
Yep.
first thing I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna make her go apologize to the little boy for hitting him in the head with that book.
And I'm
Cause
whooping
that
her
whole
ass.
and her, no, I ain't whooping his ass. He
I'm
he
no,
followed proper protocol.
I'm whooping her ass afterwards.
No,
What you
she
talking
already
about?
No,
got
I'm
it.
not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm
he
Yeah,
not
right.
gonna whoop
provided
my
it.
daughter.
I don't have to. He
You
provided the
shouldn't have
ass
got
whooping.
your
I
ass
don't.
whooped. You
Yeah,
shouldn't have threw the book if you weren't ready to get your ass
yeah.
whooped.
So
That's
she
how
needs
that
to
works.
just. She already caught the ass whooping. All she got to do now is go apologize to him for hitting him in the head with a book. She took the punishment already.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
great. Do
Yeah.
you agree with that stance, or would you
Fuck
see
yeah, I
anything
do.
different there?
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. I'm still gonna stand behind my daughter, even though she got her ass whooped. That's my hey. You
I
Wait,
threw
take
the
the
so
book
she,
book.
advice.
He
so
beat
she
your. Hold on,
receives,
look.
so
You
she
threw the
receives
book.
no
Look,
discipline
he
at
threw the
home.
book. This is man code. He threw
This
the
is
book.
crazy.
You threw the book. He beat your ass. Right. It don't take for me to tell you because I already told you. You see what I'm saying? You see how that work? But at least now you got somebody there to enforce. A lot of these don't have that. So now the reverse is humility, right? Without that sensible male figure there to say, hey, you know what? It's okay to work you through that humility. They don't work through humility. Now they ready load up ARs, right?
You
Now
see,
they ready to
Roger.
go ante up their buddies and get revenge because they don't know how to manage that humility, right? They
So
think to
they
them the whole world is now you is pointing at them because they done took an ass whooping of something they created. The whole disposition was something that you created, but now
so
you're ready
you
to take it to the nth degree.
so you
That's
teach
where
your
the
child.
man to me
So
is
you
in
this man talk
position, a
forever.
man with knowledge, capacity, not just a regular man. Because some regular men be like, "Oh hell no, nah. They did what? We low enough. Fuck that. We great." You see what I'm saying? A man with
All right, so
capacity.
hold on. So hold on. So you teach your child how
How
to
does
do.
it
You
become
teach
the
you
men?
teach your child at home not to do something, right? They go out in the world and they do what you told them not to do, and the world gives them a butt kicking. And they come home and they let you know what happened, and you don't give them a butt kicking. So how are they supposed to take what you telling them about serious just because they got their ass kicked in the world?
Well,
Now,
hold on.
Now, if
See,
however,
that's your son,
I can answer. I can answer that.
if that's your
I
son,
can answer.
you're going to treat it totally different.
So, so this is where you let them learn their lessons, right? If they did something and it got them an ass whooping, and they come to you as if that wasn't right, and you say, "No, you supposed to get that ass whooping." Now you should go apologize because you're the one in the wrong. That's called discipline, and that's called holding them accountable.
No, because
You
they
don't
still
have,
didn't do
but
what
hold
truth
on.
tellers. They still didn't do what you told them to do. Just because
Right,
they
and they
got
gotta
their
ask. Listen to me. They learned the lesson from the outside. They got their ass whooped. You didn't listen to me. You should. I'm telling you to do this so this doesn't happen. You didn't listen. You did it. Now this happened, and you coming to me now thinking it shouldn't have happened. But I'm telling you, it should have happened. This was the right thing to occur, and now
But
you
no,
should
I
go
get what he's
apologize.
saying. That
Yeah, you should.
happened,
But
and you
but
can't go
what?
nowhere, and you
Well,
can't do
hold
nothing.
on. But
You
what
know what I'm
happens
saying?
is, and we have this problem in our community. We want to do this over punishment stuff, right?
Nah, bro.
Well,
no.
Because you
if
know
you
what?
did, come on now.
Like
If a
Phil,
Truth teller.
listen
man,
here,
listen,
Wait,
we
truth
all hold
teller.
on.
listen to
I'm
y'all
gonna
Wait,
give you
truth
an
real
teller.
quick.
What if
example.
you don't? Truth teller. What if you don't know what
There's
happened?
no extent to the
What if they didn't
protection
even
of
let
your
it get
kid.
back to the house?
No,
See,
no,
the
I'm
reason
not.
why a lot of us
But
didn't
you
do that
can't
was because
punish
we didn't
nothing
even
that you
want.
don't. But
The reason.
Shark, you don't know.
It's
That's
protection, brother. It's not
you. No,
punishment.
no, no, no. You're
It's
missing the
Shark,
point.
protection.
That example
Shark,
doesn't
you
mean
moving.
anything. But yeah, you're moving the goalposts because if
No,
they
I'm
don't
not.
report it to you, you don't know.
All right, all right,
Yeah.
all
But
right.
we,
Let
I'm
So
me
there's
saying
ask.
we
no
should. I'm
there's
saying
no
All
we
right,
should.
discipline to
I'm
give
saying
because
we
you
used
don't
to
know.
not do. We used to
let me
not do
ask the
things in
question.
fear of somebody
Uh
finding out.
oh.
P.
Well, no. This is the thing because I laid the scenario out. The kids got in trouble for fighting. They the only ones that got physical. All the other kids, it was just words. We got in trouble. Me and the girl that hit me in the head with the book, we got physical. So therefore, we're in trouble. And our parents have to show up the next day with us. So there is no lack of knowledge. What they're going to be told.
All right, my bad.
Because now
Let
you
me
gotta tell your parents, the school say you gotta come up to the school tomorrow with me. You know what I'm saying? We gotta go to
Hey,
the principal's office. So
let me
they're
ask
gonna
the
know.
hey, Roger.
question. Let
Fast
me,
forward years later, right? They done got married. They got kids. Both of them successful as hell. You
no,
understand?
no,
You
no.
see, it can go either way because a lot of times young men don't even know sometimes that young women
But
really be on them
no,
and they don't
creative.
know how to handle
The
certain
question
energy.
wasn't
And even
directed
young
that way.
women do that. They
The,
show
que-
their affection. I don't know why
the
by
question wasn't
assault
directed that way.
for
But let
some
me
reason.
ask this question. Let me ask this question.
Well,
Eh,
no, I don't go. Don't change the scenario,
I'm
please.
not.
Don't
I'm not
change.
changing the
'Cause-
scenario,
but
Roger. I'm just asking the question. It's the same vein as your
what
question.
what
It's the same
but
vein.
no, but there's a point to what I'm doing. My
I
point
get it,
is
but I just let me say it, Roger. Why I can't say
He
nothing?
want to cook, Roger. He want to cook.
What when I say you just
against my
want
better
You
judgment. Go
see him
ahead,
nudging
Gold
you,
P.
man. He got it, man. He
I
Against
working.
was
my
being
better
nice,
judgment.
I
Roger.
got you,
Go ahead,
man.
Gold P.
Yeah,
Lord have
I
mercy.
said, listen, and you the main one who want to jump in on something.
No, I was trying to get to a point, but
I was getting to a
against
question
my
to
better
your point,
judgment.
Roger.
Go ahead, Gold P.
Dang, man. Dang.
My
I
chest
was
hurts.
going to ask the creator in reference to Roger's question. He jumped on because she hit him with the book, and he sent the girl home with the black eye. Would that change? Would that make? Because he didn't say if she had looks or guys usually respond when they see something. He sent your daughter home with a black eye. Would that change the?
Yeah, realistically, we could joke about it, but yeah, that's so my daughter. I don't know about y'all, and y'all know, and I think we all kind of in the same vein. We can ask those questions, but ultimately, I'm going. I'm probably not going to care what the hell happened, and that probably is a problem in our country. I'm just gonna want to immediately want to protect my daughter. I want to know what the fuck happened. You know what I mean? I'm first ask her, but I can't, victimize, and that's just probably immediate. That may be on me. But I'm immediately thinking, damn, what could you have possibly done? Because I didn't taught you everything for you not to even get in that situation. Was really going through my mind. Like, damn, how could you even be going through this situation? Right? That would be my thing. What would possess you to want to throw something and assault somebody, right? Based off of words or whatnot. Do you like this individual? Do you already have a relationship? What's going on? It's a lot of shit going through my mind.
Well,
You would
that's
want to
separate
assault
than that.
somebody.
No, but I'm gonna say Gold P. Gold P. says something that's realistic because if I fought a girl, she's probably going home with at least a black eye. That's just, I'm a boy. I'm not gonna
Right.
let her win. So that's just kind of realistic.
Right. So now here I am. I'm ready to, you know what I mean? I already know
Well,
me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
what's
where your
what's
daddy at?
missing
That's
from
immediately where I'm
and
going, where your daddy at?
from this what's missing from this discussion, I think, to some degree, as also a father of daughters, is the would be the severity of injury to my daughter. Now, if you tell me my daughter threw a book at you and she comes back to me with a broken leg, I'm going to receive that very differently than maybe just her having a bloody nose. You know, I don't equate a book being thrown at you at my daughter with her having a broken leg.
Or being in the hospital.
So to me, the severity, exactly. So the severity of whatever happened to her is going to inform my response to it. Now, if she just ends up with a busted nose, I'll probably just laugh the shit off and told her, you know, hey, I told you not to be doing that shit.
Come on.
No, I
And
think a
I
black.
agree with Truth Teller. I agree with Truth Teller. If you know, if she threw a book at a boy and she ended up with a busted nose, I mean, I don't really have to punish her. The message has been communicated because I've already told you. That's why I told you not to do that before, and you got the results of doing something I told you not to do. And that's gonna be some shit I probably laugh at her about maybe for the rest of her life. Remember, I told
Well,
you not
yeah,
to do
that
that
is, but I
shit, and you
still will
did it.
impose
You know,
a local penalty. Yes, yes. Because why would, again, you get what I'm saying? We had an understanding, us, me and you, right?
well,
And when
look, that's fine. That's fine for you. I'm you know, I'm not inclined to do a whole lot of punishment if I believe the messaging has been effectively communicated. Now, then, if
protection, not
after that
punishment.
incident, she's call it whatever you want to call it, bro. My point is, I'm not into a lot of punitive action just to be punitive. I believe very much
Come on, attorney.
in trying to gauge it and try to gauge the situation, the severity of the situation, apply punishment, don't apply punishment, or whatever, and then observe whether or not there's some recidivism. If there's some repeat behavior, then I get more severe. But that bloody nose might inform all of her behavior for the rest of her life. So I don't have to necessarily, a lot of times children will have an incident of a certain type in the course of their life, and it will radically reform their view about doing certain things. So I don't necessarily believe you have to always necessarily be overly punitive. Give yourself a chance to observe and that child a chance to observe whether or not they've learned that lesson.
Yep. Okay, now
Now turn that.
I want to say this, y'all, because this went a lot longer than I wanted it to, and I still ain't even got quite to the point I want. And I got somebody up who ain't never been before, and I can't bring them up until after this is over with. So it's somebody backstage that I'm just unfamiliar with. So brother, just be a little patient with me. And this is what I'm gonna say. I like Gold Piece Black Eye because I'm saying the black eyes reading. You get a good shot in when somebody don't expect it. You keep in mind, I'm a little boy. Well, not a little boy. I'm a 13, 14-year-old kid. I get hit in the head with a book. She's not expecting to fight. I get a good one off on her. At least that one good one, where she does go home with the black eye. Now, what I'm asking is, because I'm looking at this from a realistic standpoint, you are now at a school. Two sets of parents are there with their child. Realistically, what's going to happen? The principal or whoever's handling this situation, whatever the disciplinarian is at the school, is probably going to ask the parents of the girl, what do they see fit as a punishment for the boy? I'm trying to figure out, what do you say is how should the boy be punished based on the fact now your girl done came home, she got a black eye. I'm making it the next day because I understand a father's reaction to seeing his daughter hit. So now it's not an initial reaction. You're dealing with this the next day. What do you believe should happen to the boy?
That's a good one right there, Raj.
Everybody, you know what? Our silence is silence is I know it's just crazy because that's a ooh, that's
I mean,
crazy.
I don't know if anything should happen to the boy. I mean, I don't know what the rules are for fighting in school. Maybe it would be kind of informed by uh, whatever the school. I'm sure most schools have policies about fighting, so there probably would be a punishment of a couple of a suspension of a couple of days, maybe for both children. Um, that's what I would foresee happening. But I mean, children do stuff, so it's only so much. To me, repeat behavior is more important than whether a child has been a child in the moment. So the girl threw a book, the boy popped in the eye. Uh, maybe there's a no fighting policy in the school, so maybe they get suspended from school a couple of days, and maybe they have some extra homework or et cetera or whatever while they're suspended that particular day. That's as far as it really needs to go, as far as I'm concerned. Now, if something else happens, then you got to get more severe. But
Yeah, but
if
ooh,
that's the only
you
time those kids have ever been, if that's the only time those children, the most punished people in school are black children, especially black boys. So I'm not pro dogpiling kids in school. Shit happen with kids in school. If you got kids, that's true.
yeah, but
Okay.
Shit,
ooh,
that's a whole different.
this
That's a whole different
question was
ecosystem.
directed at creator because we want to know. We want to know how he would handle. What is his viewpoint about that situation?
Yeah, Creator, I do want you to give your perspective on what would you do. And I'm saying it because this is what I'm saying, y'all. I know how schools can be. They want to make sure the parents of the daughters are okay. Okay, so this don't really blow up or become a real issue. So they're gonna probably say, what do you think should happen with the boy? Doesn't mean they're gonna actually do exactly what they say. They're just trying to make sure everything's gonna be good, and this ain't finna turn into a scenario where it's on the 5 o'clock news and whatnot. Okay, so creative. They say, okay, well, what do you think? How do you think we should handle punishing this boy because he done gave your daughter black eye? What is your response to that question?
Can I
So
go after
again,
creative response, please?
I'm gonna be swift. I'm gonna be in. I'm trying to be out. So, um, depend on the severity of what happened. Again, that's what I'm gonna go off of. And when we talking, he's Big Unc talked about it, bureaucratically, right? As we said, hey, it should, and that would all depend on the severity of the injuries, right? So, and I don't
It's a
want to go
black
to
eye. That's the only injury you can
right. Then,
see is
then,
the black
then,
eye.
then, if that's the severity of it, then again, I teach mine. Assault starts verbally. If somebody verbally assaults you, you can't now cry about how they return fire. So if you put your hands on somebody or you assault somebody, you can't control what happened. As a result, you engage. You need to be prepared to engage, and you didn't win. So you got what you deserve. I don't know how else to put that. That should learn you next time. And again, I had to put you under some protections and give you some new learning, is what I mean. Because apparently you weren't prepared, to throw that book, is what I'm thinking. As a dad, you should have never thrown that book. And if you did want to throw the book, you should have been able to defend whatever was coming at you. That would be mine. But you got what was coming to you. Keep your hands to yourself.
Okay.
But that would bring me real quick, Roger. That would bring me back to this young lady in Chicago with her and her kids, right? The culture.
No, stop up on that because that's probably gonna be tomorrow's show because I'm looking into that
Okay,
now.
okay,
That's probably
okay.
gonna be tomorrow's show. Just
This
so y'all know.
culture of like
But
nobody,
creator,
it's
Well,
just crazy.
hold fast, y'all. Hold fast, because like I said, I had somebody backstage. I want to be able to bring him up, but I'm not. He's an unfamiliar. Broke in Berlin was here also. Broken Berlin, you can come on back because I know you, brother. You good. Broken Berlin, if you're still listening, come on, brother. I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about somebody else. Okay, y'all. So we have somebody. Well, let me see what his name is. Milo something. I got to put him on screen to see what the whole name is. But Milo, we're going to refer to him as Milo for now. Milo, I'm going to let you come up. You get a 2-minute opening statement. You got to respect other people on the panel. Okay. Oh, hold on. You got to respect other people on the panel. And I'm going to let you get your 2 minutes I'm assuming you've been a listener of the show before. So I'm gonna give the new rules in a second, but I'm gonna go ahead. Milo been back there for a good little while. So Milo, go ahead, my brother. Chime in where you like to.
Top of the morning. Appreciate y'all for letting me come on the show. I was listening to everything, and from my own experience, when I was like in the 5th grade, a girl punched me in the face, and I returned fire and caught her in the eye and actually gave her a black eye. Now the school notified the parents on both parties. The punishment was I didn't get punished. I didn't get suspended by my parents because I was defending myself at that young age. And the girl, she didn't get suspended, but she still had to come to school every day with that black eye to be embarrassed. So that's the only experience that I can actually give for my own to kind of facilitate what we was just talking about right now as I was listening. But I did have another point I wanted to bring up about the community, if that was okay later.
No, go ahead, because you get a 2-minute opening statement. Go ahead.
As far as the community is concerned, I'm in my 40s, early 40s. It's a group of men that I associate with, and it's a group of men under us, about 38 to 40. And we've all came to this conclusion that the ladies, the women like 65 and under, all the way down to probably about 15 from what we've been seeing, they're all, we realized that it's kind of hard for us to bring our community back because we realize that our own women have been given a blueprint to kind of like underhand us in every aspect. We're playing chess without a queen on the board against all the other opponents with their queens on the board. And so we've been trying to figure out how can we get a good chess game without the queen on the board, or how can we get our queen back on the board and get back into playing chess, playing this chess game we call life with all these other opponents we have. So that was the question that I had to ask.
Go back to training.
Oh, okay. I think we lost him, y'all. I think we lost, at least lost his mic or whatever.
No, I cut the mic off. I rendered.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I mean, you bring up a good question. Now, my answer to that question is realize she ain't part of your community. The quicker you realize that, the quicker you can stop worrying about trying to get her back on the board, as they say, and then you'll just accept somebody else to be in that spot. You know, I say, me personally, my main issue right now, why I never got married, because I was too focused on black women and not worrying about the women who were available to do better things with me. It's that simple at the end of the day. I don't blame black women for that. It was my fault that I bought into the nonsense that I bought into. That's on me at the end of the day. You got to accept that you got to hold yourself accountable for what you believe in. Because everybody's gonna hold you accountable for what you believe in. You might as well hold yourself accountable and accept real life is real life at the end of the day. That's why I make that statement about black men gonna have to learn to look both ways before they cross the street, because there are no excuses for us. If we don't get it right, we will end up dead, in prison, or homeless. Because ain't nobody gonna save us, and that's just the reality of it all. So when you look at women who are not with us, such as this woman whose name is Patricia in California, such as this woman with 3 kids, I cannot empathize with her. There is nothing for me to empathize with. You simply went out rogue. You're a rogue woman with no husband. You're not even trying to be somebody's wife. I just don't see you as my concern. And I think if black men take that overall thought process and we all just accept it, she's not ours. Ours are the ones we're married to. You know, there's a reason women get married and the reason women don't. If she's not even that, and I'm not gonna say there ain't no bad wives out there. When you're dealing with people, you're never gonna have 100% right. But if you can't even be a wife, why should you be a concern?
Well, Roger, I have to.
Question. The question I would ask you, brother, is what authority do you have over the women that you would consider to be your potential mates? Like what form of authority do you have over them? Do you have religious authority? Do you have familial or clan authority over them? Do you have any legal? If you're an American, you don't really have any legal authority over them. Not really. If you don't have anything by disposition of being a man, just like right off the top, I'm a man. You don't have any sort of real enforceable authority over them. They're not your women. They're
Well, then that's the
effectively
majority
not
of the
your women.
community, then, sir.
Can I say something real quick? Like,
Well,
listen.
did you
Oh, my
did you
fault, Ruru.
you've answered you've answered my you've answered my question. Then
And
you've
to double
answered my
down on
question.
your question, the response you guys gave to the daughter punching somebody in the face and coming back home. This is the reason why they are like this. They can go outside and do anything, and they come home and there's no repercussions. You're just going to talk to them and laugh. And now they get 40, they get 50, they get 60, and they telling us who going to check me, boo, because they
They're
father
not
didn't
that
even check
way.
them.
They're not. They're the way they are because the schools and the society has told them the boys to not hit them back.
The
That's the
fathers ain't
reason
even
why.
going to hit them
When
no
we
boo
were
boo.
hit,
If the father won't hit them,
when we were hitting those girls back in the 60s and 70s, they weren't that quick to knuckle up, bro. I was there. I was there. I'm not talking about some shit that is mythological or conceptual. I'm talking about how we got down for real back coming up back in the 60s and 70s. And before all this DV shit and all this sugar and spice and everything nice and all this kind of bullshit, a girl thought 3, 4, 5 times before she drew her hands up at a boy.
and I would think that concept came from because she got her ass beat by her father a couple of times, and she already understands the might of a male.
Hey, I'ma just say I
That
fought
that that
everybody.
that too. That too. But you ain't as a girl. You only got to get tossed on your ass by a boy a couple of times before you realize that difference in strength and ferocity.
But
It ain't got
and
to
that's what
happen that many times.
I don't.
I know I fought girls, boys, I fought everybody. If you wanted to get this work, then hey, win, lose, or draw, we fight. All right. So
Because the truth is that book could have killed him. That
but
book could have
look,
hit him
we have to
inside
get
his temple, and
but
he
we
could have
have to
been
get
dead.
back to
That's why I say that's
the
assault.
question though. We have to get back to the question because creator, you talked about in that scenario, you talked about what consequences you were rendered towards your daughter. The question was, what do you think the consequences would be for that boy? That's
Real
where we
talk.
at. I
I
can't
mean,
let that
other
go.
than
I
I
gotta
already
stay with
agreed.
that.
Like I don't know what you want me to say other than I already agreed with Haru. Right? I think that was it. If so, again, it's just as simple as a black eye. That was the proof in the pudding of what I told you. Right? Don't engage unless you prepare
No,
to engage.
so no consequences.
I'm not saying no consequences, whatever the like I'm not going to go over there. There's no need for me at that point unless I need to go see his daddy, right? That's why I said it depends on how. Hold on, you asked me, so I said it depends on how extreme. Now, if it's super
He came
extreme,
home with a
I don't
black
care
I
eye.
what's
think
going on in that
that
school.
was I think that
Now I
that
want to
was
go
a
see his
weird
daddy.
question. But to be fair, I don't. I mean, with all due respect, Roger, that's not how that's going to be handled. Not in any school system. These schools have policies, particularly anti-fighting and whatever. They're going to reference to that policy. They are not going to ask the parents or the other people what should happen to that boy. That's already covered in that school policy.
Okay.
In fact,
Yeah,
in fact,
I
if
think we all
anything,
saying
they
I think
could
we've
the
agreed.
school
I don't know if you
system
want me to
could
disagree.
incur
No, I'm not
the
going to disagree
school
with that.
system could incur some legal problems if they go against that policy instead reference to what the parents say should happen. So that's
But
not what's going
this
to
is not
happen.
in reference to what the school would do. We just interested.
Oh yeah.
No, but
Well,
the
yeah.
school is
Well,
not. The school is
yeah.
not going
I
to.
don't know.
A
Other than
principal
me
is
going and
not going to
suing,
ask. The principal is not going to lead to the opposite party parent what the punishment should be of a child.
Right,
They're not
right,
going to
right,
do
right.
that.
They
That's
shouldn't
that's
bias
that's
understood.
that's
That is
in their
understood.
decision. And again,
that's
unless
a
he tried to
high
kill her, yeah,
legal
like I said,
risk.
unless he tried to, I mean, my
That's a
bad, I didn't
high
mean to say
legal
that.
risk.
Overly assault. Yeah,
Well,
That's
go
a
ahead.
y'all,
high
look,
legal risk.
I am not, I'm not trying to push this as that's what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen in real life. In the real life, that boy finna get buried. That's what's gonna happen in real life because he left a mark, and that just is what it is.
I
That boy
think
finna
we're
get
talking
buried.
about two different time frames where if a girl hit a boy and a boy hit her back, it's self-defense. We're living in an age now where it don't matter if the boy was defending himself, he's gonna get reprimanded either by the parent
Exactly.
or by the school.
Yeah, but
So
But
when
they're
I
not
made
going
the
to ask the
example,
parent.
the,
They're
when
not
I
going to
made
ask the
the
parents. They're going
Oh
to.
no, yeah, it is. That's that. I
no, no,
wasn't even trying to,
y'all,
go there with that.
when I made the example, the
As I
school
said, it
wasn't that.
depends on the severity of the injury.
The school wasn't even really important to the example. I was just trying to make a scenario where I could get some type of answer on how do you hold the girl accountable. The school wasn't even important. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was really trying to get to. How do you hold the girl accountable? Because
Roger, they get held accountable for nothing. You can't even hold them. We won't even hold them accountable for how they use their pussy.
That's the difference between them dads and this dad. You know what I'm saying?
well,
Ain't no dad perfect. Ain't
this
no
is
dad
this is
perfect.
my point. This is my
Yeah,
point.
but we
And
don't
my thing
promote
is
all that.
no dad is gonna be perfect, and
Yeah,
nobody's
ain't no
gonna do
dad
the
perfect.
exact same punishment for a child. I do understand that. Now I do understand also for me, for example, if I actually did hit that girl, which I would have done, and that's just real talk. At that age, I would have done it. I'm still getting in trouble. The school gonna do whatever the school gonna do to me, and I'm still getting whooping when I get home.
Exactly.
Point blank period. Because my parents had to come up to the
Well, I
school.
mean,
That's it.
and you
But
should
but she's
get
not going to
punished
get
by
it.
the school because the school has to maintain the peace of the school. The school has to prevent children
And
from
dad
fighting each other.
maintains the
So
peace
you
of
got
the
to get
home.
punished.
But y'all
Yeah,
missed
but
the
this conversation
So you
ain't
got to
necessarily
punish.
about the
y'all
school.
missed the part. Y'all missed the part where he said he's going to get punished when he gets home, even if he was defending herself. She's
Right,
not going to get punished when she gets home. Y'all just said y'all not going to
right.
punish her.
I
No,
was
I didn't say that.
That's why we
No,
y'all
I
have
did
actually
not.
terrorists. That's why
talking
they
I
have
about.
said,
terrorists to the
on not
community
only
now.
are
I'm
now
not
you
I was
dealing
saying
with
punishing.
them,
I'm not
but I'm gonna
punishing
deal
the
with you
boy
here
or the
too.
girl.
He said
I'm
punishment.
not
I said
punishing the boy
protection.
or the girl.
and my dad told me that girl liked me. That's why she hit me.
Okay. All right.
But she didn't like. She still liked me after she got the black eye too. She still liked me after she got
She
the black
still like
eye.
it. She
Okay.
wanted
Yeah.
more. You wanted
Which was
more.
another point I was trying to make. It said they end up they didn't went through all of that. They end up we didn't even know, right? And this is hypothetical, y'all. This is just hypothetical, but these are really scenarios playing out for real, for real. She really did like the nigga. That's why she threw the book at him, right? Probably found out something.
That could very well be plausible. Now I'm gonna say because I use myself as an example, we ain't never getting together. I don't respond well to
Yeah, I'm
people
coming to
being
get
mean to
that
me.
bread.
You know, so we ain't never getting together.
I use my.
You
What
know
if she
what,
not?
Roger? You know what's
What if she
funny?
not cute?
All right, y'all, but I gotta open the floor up. I got Jado who's walking into the building, y'all. So I'm gonna open up the floor to Jado. But like I said, it really wasn't about the school. I was just trying to get a gauge on how we're gonna hold the girl accountable in this scenario, which I thought was kind of a reasonable scenario to put together, where it is not too extreme, not too crazy. Because at the end of the day, we got these, in the videos, we got two different women. And one woman could be a strong representative for a whole bunch of women. Because how many women is like that woman, Patricia, who is a single mother, and she going in the red by 577, if I remember correctly, every single month. Because 577, y'all, I mean, if you think about it loosely, it may not sound like that big a deal. But if you got to do 577 every single month, that's a huge deal at the end of the day. Like that,
It's about 7 bands a year.
yeah,
That's
I
all that
mean,
where the kids father at. You know
well,
what I'm saying?
I'm saying that's going to create actual problems with your lifestyle, whatever your lifestyle is. You know what I'm saying? If you're going in the red 577 every single month, that's an issue. But let me get a flow to Jado since he done came up. Jado,
What's
you got it.
happening, Jado? Thank you for your service, brother. Thank you for your
Thanks. Same to you, bro. Hey, what's up, fellas? I hope y'all doing well, man. Salute to the chat,
Gato.
replay game. Hey, hey, Roger, man. Since I've been coming to your channel, man, I love it when we bring up hypothetical scenarios, man. It's very revealing, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys observed this too, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I was just saying, man, like as far as especially the chick at Burger King or whatever, like she's a complete stranger to me. I don't give a damn. I don't care about whatever happens to her. You know what I'm saying? She can actually starve to death, to be honest with you. But what if that was my cousin and she has some type of social equity? You know what I'm saying? Maybe she used to buy me freeze pops back in the day when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? Would I still like, I don't, or yeah, my cousin or any sister or anything like that? I know this is something we constantly talked about, man. I just always like to really think about it like practically, like, yeah, if it's a stranger, yeah, I don't care. But what if someone has some type of social equity with me from back in the day? Do I look at it the same way? I think I should, but practically, is that really going to happen? I don't know. And even with that scenario, y'all talking to a brother with three daughters. Um, I would like to think, yeah, I would like to think. Honestly, I wouldn't. I would probably give my daughter some additional punishment. But when you actually see that eye, most black men, in reality, when they see that eye, and if it's looking bad, he gonna be ready to tear some stuff up, bro. In reality, but anyway, yeah, I think it's interesting conversation. I appreciate you having me up, man. Thanks for having me up.
Well, I definitely appreciate you giving your 2 cents, and I do try to make some stuff a little bit more personal so people can really think about what's the complexities of this. And I'm gonna say, as a man without a daughter, I realistically expect a man who see his daughter's black eye to be hugely upset. That's why in the scenario I had to make it where it's gonna be the next day. Because how you gonna talk to a man? His baby girl done came home with a black eye. He ain't trying to hear all that at
No,
the
he's gonna be
time.
hot. He gonna
You
be
know,
hot, man.
Roger,
expect him
this
to be hot.
exactly happened to my little brother. This story that you said, this happened to my little brother. This white girl in this school like had missed, like, what was it called? Basically, the girls in the school kept on trying to bully him and everything. My mom was like, "Oh, don't do anything." Me and his father was like, "Bruh, we don't care if you get suspended. If they're bullying you and they won't stop and the teacher ain't doing it, beat the bricks off of that chick. We don't care if you get suspended. When you come home, you're gonna be all right. We will celebrate you. You'll be all right."
Yeah.
And the next day, he came back home. We call him white beater, and he got suspended though. I was like, but she attacked him first. So I'm like, that's some bullshit. She hit him with a book. Actually, she hit him with a book, and he gave her a black eye.
Well, I'm gonna say shout out to Rob. The reason I even came up with the book, because I seen Robert hit a girl with a book one time. She got a little too out of pocket. Rob picked that book up off the boy, if y'all would have seen it, that's all I can tell you. Boy, if y'all would have seen the way Robert hit it with that book, because I guess Robert didn't want to hit no girls, and the girl was getting out of pocket for a long time. And Robert finally just jumped up, grabbed the book off the desk, and
Finish
snatched
her.
fire from somebody with a book. But I'm not saying it was right. Okay, I'm not saying it's right, but you can only bother a young man for so long before he snaps. So I understand why he snapped.
Yeah, some people don't talk.
You know,
Bro, your child come home. Your child come home, whether it's a boy or a girl. Your child come home with a black eye. You're gonna look at it differently. You're gonna say, "Hey, what's happening here?" And you're gonna move accordingly. Now, with boys, you may move a little differently, and you say, "Okay, son, I'm gonna teach you how to keep your hands up." In which I would say you teach your daughter too, because she may be prone to starting stuff way before your son do. Okay.
Well, I wasn't even really trying to make this about
Her
kids' fighting.
statistics.
The
That is
issue the issue for me is just about accountability, and when do girls have to deal with accountability. So when I hear about Patricia, who makes X amount of, she says they're like 1650 at the bank, I don't care, because Patricia chose to work at the bank. And see, this is the thing, y'all. We don't have full control over who will give us a job. We don't have full control. You got to be accepted by the people who are willing to accept you, or you got to go create your own. So my thing is, If Patricia's not married, she put herself in a man's position because men have always worked in society. You have a right to be in that position, but black women do have I ain't gonna say a right, but they have a very good chance to come home. They can simply get with a man, let that man work, and go home, and they can stay out the fray. Now, a lot of people will say, "Well, it takes two incomes to raise up." No, it don't. It takes one income that's big enough, and if enough women go home, the entire economy changes. So they don't have to work. We
Talk
just
that shit, man. Talk
we
that
say
shit.
that and we act like that lies the truth. They don't gotta work. If they come home, the economy just gonna simply make an adjustment. If you sell a car for $30,000 and won't nobody buy it for $30,000, all they gonna do is lower the price. That's all they gonna do. I hear people being in the
That's
business
called
about.
consumer power.
Yeah, I hear people say a lot of stuff about the economy, and I'm not saying the economy ain't gonna do stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna spend what I want to spend. You're not gonna make me pay a price that I don't want to pay. I don't care what you got for sale. It just is what it is. I buy what I want to. If I feel like it's too expensive, it's just too expensive. I don't care what the price is.
It's always my bad, Russ.
No, go ahead. Go ahead,
No,
Jada.
no. I mean, it's just always amazing. It's not amazing to me, but it is amazing to me how these women are always able to come that are supposedly in these financial binds or whatever, and they always come up with non-essential stuff, excess stuff. Like the one with Burger King, she had a little a tattoo behind her ear, on her neck behind her ear. She had the long red, yellow, blonde weave and stuff
Easy
like
life.
that.
Easy
Yeah, that's
life.
what I'm saying. And she had green or gray contact lenses on.
Oh,
Yeah.
hang it.
She was very portly. I don't know what she was fat, man. So she's eating well. She's eating well, man. So it's like amazing how I'm
She is
supposed to
working
feel
at
sorry
Burger
for
King.
someone. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but she's eating well regardless. You know what I'm saying? And
She
yeah,
missing
it's
no meals now. She
like
ain't missing no
how
meals.
why should I have a second thought on any of these women that are, yeah, and Irvine, this other scenario, Irvine, California, man, it ain't, I mean, as far as black people, it ain't really no black people in Irvine, man. I'm not far from Irvine, man. But I'm just saying, I know it's just a, hypothetical a situation that I think that lady was just politicking on that, that man or whatever. But yeah, it's just like it's amazing how they can have these excess things, man. And I'm
Well,
supposed to feel sorry for him.
I want to say about
Yeah.
that. Why do you go to a bank president as if it's his job to solve her problems? She's in a place that she can't afford. Solve your own problem. You know what I'm saying? Solve your own
Yeah.
problem.
That was
As a
her daddy. Her daddy should have her daddy should have prepped her up. That's there. You gotta go back to her daddy. That's why I put it on,
no,
bro. Let's make it easy. And then if she don't have one, well, okay, well then we got then now we have a fault with whoever had her and didn't train her right on
no,
that simple fact that you're making right
That
now.
means her
no,
mother
no. Hold on
her
now.
mother
Because my
had her.
thing is, my thing is, I blame people. I blame parents for children as long as they children. Once you become an adult, that's on you. And whatever your parent didn't give you, it's your responsibility to go get it once you hit 18. So I don't blame. I don't need to look for who parented her, what theories they gave her. If they daddy was pregnant, I don't care. You are 18 and above. The example of this woman named Patricia, we don't know her age, but she got to be 18 and above because she's working at the bank. Okay, she probably at least 21 to even be working at the bank 9 times out of 10. And she has a home. The lady dropped the numbers on a woman's home. So this is a person she gave an example of. This is a adult person with a child. Man, if you ain't gonna figure out how to live your life, that's on you. I don't care about what your dad did or didn't do. You're an adult. What I care about what your dad told you. Your dad could have been a bum. He could have been the greatest man in the world. How does that even come into play? You grown. You live on your own. You're not in your parents' house no more. And once you leave your parents' house, it's on you. And if you left your parents' house, you should have put yourself in a good situation. And if your situation is bad enough where you losing $577 a month, my advice would be to get a job. I mean, real talk. if we gonna be real about this, why I work at the bank? Well, obviously you need another job, so get one.
Get OnlyFans.
No, I wouldn't say that. I ain't gonna tell nobody to do that because that's not gonna help a long term. Long term, get you a job. Because if you working at the bank, 9 times out of 10, you work Monday through Friday. Go get you a job on the weekend. That's what you do when you ain't got a husband.
Or bring down your living expenses.
I mean, $577 a month. I don't think she wants to bring down her living expense. She need a job.
That's a weekend job. They're gonna pay you about a couple hundred weekend jobs. Usually,
Wait, she making oh
you
shit.
already have
My
a
bad.
full time job. Most weekend jobs only want to give you about a couple hundred, 150 a week, a couple hundred every 2 weeks.
If you just work the weekends and you got the whole day available, you can do a 12-hour shift, 2 days a week, get 24 hours in. Hey, you can do 16 hours, get 32 hours in. You can make it work. You can cover that 577 till you ready to do something different in your life. And my thing is until you see, I'm not worried about her circumstance like that because it's about a mentality. You change when you want to change. We ain't none of us perfect people, and truth be told, America in general is broke. We got jobs, we got businesses and whatnot, but the average American is broke, and that's the reality of it. So I'm not gonna condemn her like she's doing something the average person ain't doing. Most of us struggling with money. We don't want people to know we're struggling, but most of us are struggling with money. Speaking of money, I need to get to these cash out because I ain't saying nothing about these all day, and I do apologize about that. Because I don't even know if I got shit something. I need to check on that.
Yeah, Roger, count that subway money, brother. Go on, count it, brother.
I don't need no help. I don't need no help. Okay. Shout out to Elder Blood, which I did say he don't even want to send one, so I ain't missed nothing. Okay. And for y'all who worried about the super chat, hey, I'm under review. I didn't did a review. I didn't ask for it twice already. I'm probably gonna do it every few days. I'm gonna do something to try to make the channel better, but they just gonna give me my approval. They just ain't gave it to me yet, y'all. So I know, and I appreciate the fact that some of y'all really want to give me something. It's not in my control. Every couple of days I'm gonna do something to try to get it turned on, but it's up to them to say yes. Okay, it is what it is. It's up to them to say yes. It's not. If it was up to me, it'd be on, but it's not up to me. But like I'm saying, y'all, Americans are in a certain personal situation when it comes to money. Most Americans are broke. So I'm not down on her for being broke. What I'm saying is if you cannot maintain your situation, you need to change something. You know what I'm saying? Have I ever been losing $577 a month? Maybe I have. I probably have. But at some point, you got to change that. Okay? My father wasn't no financial expert either. You know, but he did teach me some principles about handling money and don't bite off more than you can chew. At some point, that's on you. If you ain't got no husband, ain't you supposed to be the person that figures this out? Because if she was married, I wouldn't even look to her to solve that problem. I would look at her dude and say, man, bro, you gonna really let your wife live like that? But she ain't got one. I'm looking at her. Why ain't you figured this out? You want to be in a man's position. You want to work out here in the world, which I'm not saying you can't do. I don't care that women work. But if you gonna work, you got to take on the responsibility that came with the working class. Because people forget men used to work, and for the most part, women didn't work. And this stuff really happened in other countries. It wasn't even really like that in America, but a short period of time. And that didn't really include black women. So if you're going to take on the role of working outside the home, ain't you supposed to figure this out? Ain't that what come with the territory? When I was a child, I was never in debt. I didn't really deal with that until I became an adult. Most of us in the same boat, right? Did you really have a debt till you became an adult? Don't this come with working? Don't this come with being a provider? If a woman wants to be in that position, why shouldn't she have to take on everything that comes with it?
Making too much sense, Roger.
Bro, when I had to eat ramen, I ate my ramen proudly. To this day, I still keep something like that in case I'm broke and I don't have nothing to eat. I'm gonna keep something like some spaghetti or something. I'm gonna keep something.
That's
So in case
proper
I ain't got no
preparation,
money,
right? That's
I'm good.
preparation.
as a man. You prepare those strategies is exactly what I'm talking about. Just preparing as a man, right? And so now when you do decide to have children, whatever that is, you are now properly ready, prepared, right? I know we're gonna have to live somewhere. I'm gonna have to sustain them. If I don't want to do a 9 to 5, I need to figure. You see what I'm saying? How that proper planning is deliberate now. That's why we can focus more on the 92% and maybe tune in. I like the ones that want to make those decisions to be suckers, if you will. I'm not even really even talking to them, to be quite frank. I'm not trying to change nobody. I'm moving in a certain way, and I think the men that do have the opportunity to be single, and the women to be single and people free or person free, or whatever they want to call it. It's a global market out here. You need to get out here and see what it is. If you're not finding what you need here in these states, well, it's a global market out here. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to lock down to nothing. You can plant your seed all over the world. Right. Just be prepared to, just in case if anything happened, right? Be prepared to take care of that, knowing that, okay, if I dip into this thing, there's a possibility that this is a forever thing. I'm saying that's a code I think we all should take. And if she move in a certain way, that's, not with your legacy plans, then shit, you prepare for that. Just so it don't become a detriment in your life as a man. I don't want nothing to cease your building, if you will, right? Nothing to disrupt your building, and as you build your way, nothing's going to cease you or stop you or none of that. Ain't no excuses.
Well,
Zero.
that's what I'm saying. I do
But
think we need to accept that black men have pretty much done that.
Exactly.
And
Black men, we're number one at using condoms.
I mean, there's a
That's
lot of
a
things.
fact.
No, yeah, there's a lot of things we've done, and my thing is we should not be talking as a perspective as if we're a bunch of unprepared people, because we're not. We are people doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing for the most part. And if we looked at percentages, real talk, I doubt any other group of people have a percentage as high as ours about people doing what they need to do. And that's real talk. As far as taking care of your actual children, as far as having jobs, businesses, you know what I'm saying, military, whatever it is that they're doing, or even the younger ones that's still in college or some type of trade
I,
school,
I,
you know,
I was recently reviewing a Department of Labor report that says, on average, black men work more hours than any other demographic of people in the country. Black men work more per week than white men, white women, black women, Latino men, Latino women, Asian men, Asian women, according to that report. Black
And
American
how we
men work
spending that
more,
revenue?
those who are employed work more than any other group of people. We're the
So what
hardest
are we
working
doing with
group
that
of people
revenue?
in this country.
What are we doing with that
Well,
revenue?
in,
The point.
in a white in a white supremacist system, the value of your productivity, the value of your effort is suppressed. Brothers were working pretty hard prior to, during slavery. They weren't getting the benefit of the value of their effort.
Come on.
So you have to appreciate the fact that black men do work hard, have always worked hard in this country, but they've not always gotten the full value and benefit of their effort.
and I just think at this particular point, it's time for black men to seriously detach women mentally that are not attached to us. Because if you ain't somebody's wife, how are you
Thing.
attached? We see these women as part of our community. They're not. How can somebody be part of your community when they'll have your children and do everything they can to keep you away from them? I mean, let's talk about the problems men actually have. How many men even get to raise their kids? Because a bunch of them don't, and that's just real talk. Because every man that don't live in the house with the woman is probably not truly raising his kids. I'm not saying he ain't making efforts. That's clear. I mean, we the best fathers on record. So clearly we making the efforts, but we want our kids in our home. Let the mainstream media and social media tell it we don't want the kids at all. But true, when you look at the facts of it, you see black men making more effort than any other group of fathers. And that's because we're the best men in America. It's natural that the best men would make the best fathers.
I
You
don't know.
know,
This might be controversial, but usually when there's a debate with the women, it's gonna always be uh, tied to them benefits. When they come with them kids, they don't want to tie away from the benefits that come with having not necessarily the kid. You know what I'm saying? The opportunity for the bennies. And
I mean,
that ain't what we own. We just like, hey, I'm like most of the time we just like let us get the kids, but no, it has to be total control. That's the only way that they can have control.
well, my thing is that's how you know they white supremacists.
Exactly.
Because they want to extract the benefits from the man without the man being involved. And who came up with a system for them to do that? A bunch of white supremacists did. They said, "Here, y'all use this system," and who made them use that system? Nobody. They choose to use it. So that's why I say I don't. It's hard for me to look at these women doing all this different stuff, and I can see them as part of my community. No, they not. If they was part of our community, their kids would have good grades. My mama talked to me about this. I asked her. She totally forgot about this, y'all. My mama forgot that she told me I had to get A's. But that's what she told me I had to do. I was a little kid in grammar school coming home with straight A's because my mama told me I had to get them. She forgot. But she told me, y'all ain't got no jobs. Y'all don't got to do this. Y'all don't got to do that. All you do is go to school. You come home and you do a couple of chores, and that's basically your entire load of responsibility. There's no reason you shouldn't have A's. Now, I took that serious. I don't know why she don't remember. But that just I don't know. I can't say why she don't remember. But I took that to heart, and so did my brothers and sisters. And we was out in there getting A's simply because we was told to. We don't have no excuse. So if you part of my community, how your kids spelling? How your kids can't read? You can't be a part of my community. Where I come from, it's funny when you don't know. It's not funny. It's not funny because you do know. Now I know there's people talk about, well, y'all, people are too smart and they act like smart kids are supposed to be pushed out or something like that. To me, you can't be cool and dumb at the same time. That just don't work. You got no something.
Gotta choose one.
You know, you definitely can get talked about if you're dumb because we definitely did that. I played the dust when I was a kid. We definitely roasted you for being dumb, and that's just real talk.
I said between men, there's two things that just boil down to with men is you never wanted to be poor and you never wanted to be dumb.
So that's why I'm saying we do have to develop something where we are mentally okay with separating from people who just don't cut the mustard. Because at the end of the day, like, look, y'all. I know Trump done signed the thing. We got the government open again. The people who was supposed to get food stamps and all that type of stuff, they gonna get it, but they gonna get it late and all that type of stuff. Why you need them in the first place? That's how I look at that. Now, and some people say, well, you know what? People go through things. I totally understand that, but why you need them? I think they're a total waste of tax dollars. Just real talk. I think if you give people nothing when it comes to food stamps, people figure out a way to eat on their own. I think that stops society from being as inventive and as creative as they could be, and you stop people from actually going against the powers that be to be in a more elite position. You stop people from trying to go after businesses and things like that because somebody gave you some food.
They'll start businesses and now start taking advantages of the businesses that are started, that which is way more than that water that public water fountain that you keep drinking out of.
Yeah, I'm saying if you give it to me, I already know something. Because ain't nobody gonna give you what you'll give yourself. That's just the way it goes. And that's how I look at those systems. Nobody's gonna give me what I would give myself. And that's just a real thing. And that's how I operate in life. Nobody's gonna give me what I would give myself.
Gotta know what to get.
You know. So my thing is when we accept all this stuff, you know, like, and we done did some shows. We talked about the food stamps and all that type of stuff. My thing is nobody should be on it in the first place. If it were up to me, which I've said publicly before, this stuff would not even exist. Because I don't think it helps us as a country. I just don't. You know, I think a person who realizes ain't nothing coming gonna go out and make something happen. That's what I truly believe. And I believe the reason you have people that's in elite positions because you don't have enough people challenging the elite. And that's been going on for decades at this point because they've been keeping us cool by throwing us some stamps or something. Okay, that's not my world at the end of the day. But I do think we got to look at women in this Patricia's position or this burger queen as they call them. Man, them not our people, man. And at some point, black men, we got to be able to say them not our people. But y'all, we finna hit that 3 hour mark, so I'm finna close it off right here. Well, Black Roo, is there anything you want to say? I'm gonna let you in because you're an elder. Anything you want to say, brother?
No, maybe I might have some stuff for Bible study, but you know, there's always a great show, Roger, and pleasure to talk with gentlemen on the panel.
All right, y'all. I think it was a great show. We do great shows here, no matter how we get to them. It still was another great show. I appreciate everybody who joined on. I'm laughing. I'm not going to even say this. I'm not going to dignify this with an answer. I'm just going to say shout out to the great Black Reset. That's all I'm going to say, brother. I see you. I see you. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. If y'all new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If y'all ain't already did it, y'all hit that like button. Y'all know that stuff is important. Real talk. So, but subscribe to the channel. We do this 9 a.m. Chicago time. Not where you live. 9 a.m. Chicago time, y'all. Real talk. And if y'all can't hit that cash app when we off the air, I'll say something about it tomorrow. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.